Welcome back.
This is game time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
A pleasant good evening to you from Greencastle, Indiana in Putnam County. We're at Robert L. Harbison Stadium, home of the Tiger Cubs of Greencastle, and they are set to host the Parke Heritage Wolves in Week 5 of Indiana high school football, and it's coming to you live right here on IndianaSRN as well as TigerCubs.tv. Jarrett Lewis here alongside Charles Benberry, and what should be an exciting matchup. Week 5 is already here, and we are just minutes away from kickoff from Greencastle High School. Beginning with the visitors of Parke Heritage, just a school that has been around for 3 years, consolidated from 3 separate schools back in 2018. And in this 4th year of football that they are now entering, Parke Heritage, under the direction of Brian Moore, 27-8 in those 4 years. This year, a 3-1 record as they travel to Greencastle, 2-0 in Wabash River Conference play. And they have every right to be excited about being ranked in the top 10 in Class 1A, CJ. They are 7th in the AP poll, 6th in the coaches poll, and really a passing attack and mixed in with a little balanced rushing attack, well, a really balanced offense. But the passing game is going to get a lot of attention tonight. 271 yards is what they average a game through the air.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, they can put points up, and it's going to be a quick time that they do that. We talked about on the way here to the stadium that, it's interesting, they don't do extra points. They go for 2, so that kind of adds on possibly to those passing yards. But when you just have a dynamic offense like Parke Heritage, you mentioned they're number 2 in Class 2A, so they can just really do a lot of everything, but you'll see a lot of passing from this team, led by their quarterback. He's had a nice year so far. Granted, we've only played 4 games so far this year, but averaging about 270 yards per game, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, but his completion rate's at 62%. He'd like to see that a little bit higher if you're head coach Brian Moore, but you'll take that 4 games in, and again, he's only a junior, so he's still learning a couple things, and I expect that completion percentage to jump up at least by the end of the year.
That quarterback we're talking about for Parke Heritage is Christian Johnson, also a fantastic basketball player, a member of that state championship run they made in the past basketball season before falling in the state championship game. But what a run it was, and what a run in football now. Mentioning the 2 sports, just how great they've been in now the 4th year that they're entering of being a school in the state of Indiana out of Parke County and the town of Rockville. Christian Johnson, like you said, on the year, 620 completion percentage, a little over 1,000 yards through 4 games of play, and he's got some athletes on the outside, some great skill players that he's going to go after, including Noble Johnson, who leads them in rushing as well as receiving.
Yeah, Noble Johnson is kind of like that guy who can just do everything for you out on the field. He already has 4 carries this year for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, but then again, he's very effective in the passing game. Seems to be Christian Johnson's favorite target when he's throwing the football. So Noble Johnson can just do a little bit about everything on the field. You'll see some good speed from him. So he's very shifty, very quick, and he can make that first guy miss with ease. So if you're this Greencastle defense, that's the one guy I want to pay attention to if I'm going to stop someone on offense. Make sure you stop Noble Johnson.
4 separate guys have at least 10 receptions this year, and Noble is leading in that category. 27 receptions, just shy of 300 yards, and 5 touchdowns from his counterpart, Christian Johnson. Let's take our first break. When we come back, talking about the home team, the Tiger Cubs of Greencastle, right here on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Good sportsmanship show.
Welcome back to Greencastle High School, just moments away from kickoff here, home of the Tiger Cubs, and we'll take a break now for the national anthem.
And the men and women who have fought valiantly to protect.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football, powered by IndianaSRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at IndianaSRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game. And more important, don't forget to subscribe to the IndianaSRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown. Safety. First down. Holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick, scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on IndianaSRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org. and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
We're back at Harbison Stadium here in Greencastle, Indiana, home of the Tiger Cubs, ready to enter onto their brand new turf field, which they broke in 2 weeks ago in a win over West Vigo. The Tiger Cubs 2-2 on this season, 1-1 in conference play in that Western Indiana Conference, and you see them entering the field now. Their last game was a defeat, but they are trying to bounce back here at home, 2-2 record, and it's a leader in Kiefer Wilson, who at the quarterback position, not a very pass-heavy team at all. In fact, it's all the run game, and Kiefer Wilson at the quarterback position leading them in the rushing category. 83 carries on the season, just shy of 400 yards, so that means he's just shy of 100 yards a game.
Yeah, and it's tough when your top rusher is your quarterback. You like to see some sort of production from your running backs in that running back room, but you mentioned he does quarterback and he does running back. He's thrown only for 330 yards. His completion ratio is only at 47%, so I know for a fact Coach Mike Meyer would love to see that go a little bit higher today, just at least complete 50% of his passes. And he's only thrown for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, so it seems like Greencastle, that front line is just not giving him enough time to throw that ball, and it's making the quarterback scramble, which is why he has, as you mentioned, almost 400 yards. He does have 6 touchdowns on the ground, so Coach Meyer has to be happy about that, but I know he would like to see his quarterback maybe stay in the pocket just a little bit and find his receivers down the field.
There's the visiting team, the Parke Heritage Wolves, and their away white jerseys and black pants. That game last week for Greencastle was a loss at South Putnam, which is just a few minutes down the road from here. A 13-19 final score. They led 10-0 at the half, did Greencastle, but only coming away with 3 points in the second half and dropping that conference game against South Putnam. Another guy we'll see a little bit of is McGuire in the run game. 175 yards rushing, 44 yards a game. We'll see him at that lead tailback position, trying to complement Wilson as the game goes on.
Well, I think that's the guy who Coach wants to step up, Jacob McGuire. You mentioned, again, 175 yards, no touchdowns on the year, but he's averaging about 3.6 yards per carry, so that's a nice, healthy average. For a running back, again, you'd maybe like to see him in the 4 or 5 range, get some good chunks of yards on first down. That way it makes it easier on second down for the quarterback to get an easy completion. But look for him and Wilson to be your 2 guys running the football. And then for receiving, if you do see Wilson throwing the ball, it's probably going to go to his wide receiver Huff, who's a sophomore. 2 receptions on the year, but only 45 yards. The most guy with receptions also, he's a senior. I believe his name is Christian George, I believe.
Connor George is the name.
Yep, Connor George. He's got 249, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns on the year. So that seems to be the 2 main guys in the passing game. If Wilson does decide to throw, but look for, as you mentioned, McGuire and Wilson to throw the ball or run the ball.
11 of the 16 completions for Wilson have gone to George, and he's good for 22.5 yards a reception. Last week, Wilson having to do a lot of what he normally does, but not enough to get the win against South Putnam. He went 6 of 13 for 120 yards passing, 19 carries for 68 yards and a rushing score. The only rushing touchdown that Greencastle was able to come away with last week, but a brand new ball game, week 5 from Greencastle. We are in Putnam County. Parke Heritage from Parke County, which neighbors us to the west. Mike Meyer in his 12th year, his second stint as a head coach of Greencastle. He was with the Tiger Cubs from 2005 to 2009, and now here of late began his second stint back in 2015. A 56-64 record for him. On the other side, Brian Moore. Look at this track record from Moore. In his 4th year coaching here at Parke Heritage, he's 27-8, but he's been coaching for 24 years, and he is 214-51. He spent 15 years as a head coach at Seeger, where he won 5 sectional championships, had a state appearance in back-to-back years, 2003 and 2004, in which they won the 2004 state championship, finishing 15-0. He also had stops at Fountain Central and Lafayette Jeff. 0 losing seasons in his 24 years of coaching. That is quite impressive.
Yeah, and he's been a good amount of places, but the fact that you have no losing seasons wherever you've been is a really testament to how good of a coach Coach Moore is. And I'm sure he could probably go to the next level if he wanted to, maybe college. But there's something about high school football on Friday nights that kind of just makes you stay here.
And that's where we are in Greencastle. Ryan Moore's squad will get the football first. It's Andres Miller back to receive for Parke Heritage, but it's a short kick fielded by Anthony Wood of Parke Heritage. Starting from left, coming to the right side, and will finally be brought down at the 38-yard line by McGuire of Greencastle. So here comes the junior quarterback, Christian Johnson, for the Wolves.
Well, that's a good return there by Parke Heritage. He broke maybe 3 or 4 tackles and got good field position for Parke Heritage. So we mentioned that this offense is very high-powered. You'll see them throw the ball a lot, led by their quarterback, Christian Johnson. So you got 3 receivers set up to the top of your screen, so look for one of those guys to possibly get the ball.
Johnson had a very impressive game last week in a game where Parke Heritage traveled across state lines into Illinois and took on Tuscola High School in Illinois. Here's the first play of the game for the Wolves. Andres on the catch. Gets a couple of blockers out in front. Nice gain on 1st and 10. 8 yards between Johnson and Andres Miller.
Nice screen pass there. Just a super easy play. You see them now get into the huddle, or the line of scrimmage, a little quicker. You'll see that a little bit, kind of an up-tempo offense for Parke Heritage. Makes this Greencastle defense on their toes.
This is what Johnson is very good at as well. He picks up the first down and more across midfield. Johnson goes from the 46 on Parke Heritage side to the opposite 46, so an 8-yard pickup, 2 straight plays of 8 yards for Parke Heritage. Quickly to the line. Here's a sweep. Noble Johnson trying to get outside. He does. Will pick up a few yards across the 40. Actually, a great gain for Parke Heritage on their 3rd play of the game, and they've all come in the blink of an eye.
Noble Johnson's got some good size on him, 6'2", 185 pounds. You don't think of him as kind of a slot receiver, but you see him line up on the outside. But the other wide receiver for Parke Heritage, Andres Miller, is also 6'2", 190, so a couple big guys on the outside.
Dakota Vance, the tailback, next to Johnson, giving him the lead block, and Christian does pick up another first down for Parke Heritage, and they are rolling on offense here in the opening drive.
They're moving down the field, but again, you see this up-tempo offense here that not allowing Greencastle to make any substitutions, so they're kind of stuck with who they are on the field. Kind of a 3-4 defense here for Johnson, looking over that defense. No safety down there, so maybe look for a post route here.
3-step drop for Johnson, looking near side, going for it all, and Miller got a tug, and he's going to get 2 flags. Easy pass interference call, as Greencastle will be guilty of the first penalty of this ball game. And on the coverage for Greencastle was Lamar Moore, sophomore corner, trying his best to keep Miller in front, but Miller did have a step. Holding is the official call on the Tiger Cubs defense.
And that's good recognition there by Christian Johnson. As I said, no safety down there to kind of spy on any receiver. So when you don't have that safety and you have 2 big 6'2" guys on the outside, take a chance and do a go route, and you paid off there with a holding penalty.
Yeah, Miller is a big frame, 6'2", 190 on the near side, but Johnson goes to the far side to Noble Johnson. Nice hitch route between the 2 Johnsons, 5-yard pickup between Christian and Noble. Johnson 2 for 2 so far. Connections with Miller and Noble Johnson, and a quick flag comes flying in. And early on, Parke Heritage picks up a quick sideline warning. Coach Moore making his way up and down that sideline and maybe getting just a bit too close.
I was going to say, there wasn't a play that maybe had the bench kind of going a little excited, but maybe Coach Moore was on the field when he shouldn't have been.
So a offensive drive where Parke Heritage was kind of going fast, getting up to the line, and the pass interference did halt that, but now this whistle from the referees halts it even longer. Here is 2nd and 5 for the Wolves. Johnson moves Vance to his right side. Tight end on the right for Christian Johnson. That's where he goes. Has Vance as a lead block. Close to a first down is Christian. That's his 3rd carry already on this drive. It will be just a yard short of the first down.
And a dual threat quarterback not only can throw the ball, he can also run it. That time a design quarterback run there led with the fullback and the running back, and now you see it once again.
Identical play, opposite side this time. Johnson will pick up the first down, tripped up towards that sideline. And a 5-yard pickup again for Christian Johnson. He's got some early work here on the ground. Johnson on his 4 carries, 21 yards. 1st and goal from the 10. 3 receivers to the right for Johnson. Anthony Wood is in the slot. Johnson looking that way towards the back corner, has Noble Johnson, and he bobbles it. Does he keep control? He does not. Referees rule him out. And that's a pass that Noble knows he has to make, and a couple of bobbles has him out of bounds.
He's going to regret that one coming back in the huddle. I can promise you that. A perfect passer by Christian Johnson right in the back of that end zone, but just couldn't get it in. He had the 1 foot in, the 2 feet in, but just kept bobbling it towards the end, and by the time he got full control, one of those feet were out of bounds. So that's when he's going to want to have back.
Johnson will roll out, looking near side again at the pylon, and it's going to be a touchdown. Great opening drive here from the Parke Heritage Bulls as Christian Johnson connects with Andres Miller from 10 yards out.
That time a design play, a quarterback rollout there from Christian Johnson, rolls to his right. And usually when you have that, the wide receivers lined up on the right side, he just kind of does like a quick out play. And that time they found him right at that pylon there on your right side. So, and as you mentioned, they don't kick the extra points for Parke Heritage, so here they go going for 2.
A team that has 0 PATs kicking it, and you can tell they've been working on that play a lot, and it looks perfect. Connecting with Anthony Wood is Christian Johnson, so the 2-point conversion is good. 3 minutes and 30 seconds have gone by from Greencastle, and the Wolves lead it 8-0 on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back deep for Greencastle, Connor George along with Jacob McGuire after the Wolves in just 3 minutes and 30 seconds get on the board first, and they have the 2-point conversion to top it off. They lead it 8-0 here in this first quarter from Greencastle, Indiana on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv. Jarrett Lewis alongside Charles Benberry. High short kick from the quarterback Christian Johnson takes 1 bounce, and George will be on the turn. Spin moves out of 1 tackle and reaches the ball to the 30-yard line. Let's take another look back at this touchdown between Johnson and Miller. Nice pass into right at the pylon. And Miller kind of getting to that goal line and then breaking, coming right back. Johnson threw it at the right time on the money. And a great opening drive from the Wolves.
Now we have a chance to see what the Tiger Cubs can do here. Again, Kiefer Wilson is their quarterback. Look for him to run and be the quarterback.
Wilson on the first play will hand off to McGuire, a short gain on the first play tonight for the Tiger Cubs. 1 yard for the senior back. Kiefer Wilson, the leading passer, of course, as the quarterback, but also leading them in the rushing category. 83 carries for almost 400 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns on the ground, just 2 touchdowns and an interception through the air. Here's second down. They give to Moore on the sweep. Going outside, Lamar Moore, seeing his first action.
Lamar Moore's got some good speeds, and look at that size that you can see on him. He's good. They might give him some opportunity here. He's only had 2 carries so far in the year for 2 yards, so that's his longest run of the year. But, if your quarterback's the only one that's running the ball, you like to see some speed coming out of that backfield, and it looks like Lamar Moore might have that. We'll see if he gets any more opportunity.
Referees stop the clock for the moment as Parke Heritage runs a player out onto the field. First third down situation tonight. 2 backs in the backfield. It's McGuire and Welker with Wilson. Blitz from the outside, and Wilson goes that way, picks up the first down and a little bit more to the 43-yard line of Greencastle.
Nice job there by Wilson. You mentioned that blitz coming off the right side, his left, and you would think for maybe a quarterback you might try to make, give a, try to get him off sides with a fake, but he decided to run it. But once he saw that, he did a nice sidestep and then broke another tackle. Just got enough for the first down, so a good-looking drive so far for Greencastle.
Greencastle averaging 164 yards a contest. Divide that by 2. That's 82 yards passing through the air a game. Wilson, his first pass, and he overshoots his man. Had Connor George over the middle of the field, and Wilson definitely on a first down play would want to have that one back.
And that's a good play there. It looks like that George in the slot kind of ran that post route. And again, George has great size on him. You call him a wide receiver, but he looks kind of like a tight end. But he's got good size in that time with no safety. You see it again, no safety for Parke Heritage. That's the time where you want to get in the middle of the field. Maybe with some speed guys with the Georgia size, run that play again.
Castle putting it back on the ground. Welker gets his first touch, and it'll be good for just 2 yards. Noble Johnson in on the tackle for Parke Heritage.
Gain of 2, third down and 8.
Another third down here for Greencastle. Last time they had a third down quarterback run by Kiefer Simpson. Got the first down. This time it's more of a passing down, so we'll see if Kiefer Simpson stays in that pocket, can make a throw, or look for him to use his legs if that pocket collapses. Just a little quick for him.
3rd and 8 from the 45 for Greencastle. Wilson with a 5-step drop. Looking right, almost loses the handle on the football, and now had an opportunity to tuck it and run, but he had George, and he overshoots him again. But all that running room in front of Wilson could have easily had a first down. Meanwhile, there is a penalty flag down.
I'm not sure if he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. So there's 2 markers right there in the middle of your screen. I'm not sure if he was at the second marker or if he was at the first, but looks like the refs are going to pick up that flag, so 4th down.
They do pick it up, and he was close to being across that line of scrimmage. Ultimately an incomplete pass, and Wilson will now stay in and be the long snapper for Greencastle. This is a guy, and we were here 2 weeks ago when Greencastle hosted West Vigo, and just Wilson, everything he does, running it, throwing it. Now he's a long snapper. He's playing defense. He's player of the game most weeks where his coaches vote on who's the player of the game for each game that they play, and he has been getting those awards on both sides of the football, offense and defense. A jack of all trades, if you will.
Yeah, and this Greencastle roster is not very big, only 35 to 40 players, so they kind of need him to be everything for Greencastle. And as you mentioned, he, just like Parke Heritage, their quarterback kicks off. He plays defense, so that's kind of the beauty of high school football. You kind of see these players all over the field. Granted, they do get tired very easily, so coaches kind of have to monitor how they play them and where they play them at. But, for good high school football players, you want to see them play majority of the time, and that's exactly what we get to see in tonight's game.
Wilson playing that outside linebacker position. Leads the team in sacks with 4. Also in total tackles with 36. Second drive starts here for Parke Heritage. It's a swing pass out to Noble Johnson. Good for a 4-yard pickup on first down.
Number 9, Jacob McGuire.
Noble Johnson, his second catch so far tonight. Christian Johnson, 5 of 6 as they begin their second drive, and they're at the 24-yard line. Johnson rolling out to his left, has Wilson tracking him down. Wilson may have affected that throw, but he still is able to get it to Noble Johnson, who's just shy of the 40-yard line. Plenty enough for a first down. 15-yard pickup.
And so we've seen kind of that same play, the quarterback roll out with Greencastle and now Parke Heritage. Difference was Parke Heritage is a little bit more accurate when throwing the football. Greencastle had George open 2 times, just couldn't seem to find him, but the accuracy is going to lead you a long way, especially for Parke Heritage, and we're seeing that.
Johnson starting off a nice drive for Parke Heritage. First negative play of the game. Going backwards was Dakota Vance. Greencastle with a nice defensive stand there on first down. Second down and 11 upcoming. Parke Heritage keeping it balanced. 7 pass attempts and 7 rush attempts now. Johnson the offense. Get the play from the sideline, and Coach Moore rolling out to his right now, looking back toward the left. They had the screen set up, but not being able to bring it in is Michael Tidwell for Parke Heritage, and he had a lot of room in front of him along with some offensive linemen.
He did, and that's going to be one pass that Christian Johnson's going to want to have back. On that screen, you're obviously expecting that pressure coming from all over, but that time he threw it off his back foot and just threw it a little bit high for his intended target. So 2 plays where receivers kind of wish they had that ball back. Now they're faced with a 3rd and 11.
So here's a 3rd and long, the first of its kind for Parke Heritage. Johnson, quick hitter, out to Noble. Has an offensive lineman in front of him, stumbles his way across the 45, close to the first down marker, but will be a yard, maybe a yard and a half shy. And this aggressiveness is going to show here. Parke Heritage keeping the offense out there.
Well, if they don't kick extra points, I can definitely see them going for it on 4th down, especially on a 4th, and it looks like a 1. Formation we haven't seen so far, Jared, I formation.
2 yards to go for Parke Heritage. They will run it, and bobbling the snap. It's a fumble picked up by Greencastle, and they fumble it as well. Going the other way. Greencastle inside the 15. Miller finally drags him down. And picking up that fumble was Owen Huff for Greencastle. Great turnover caused by the Tiger Cubs, and they are set up in even better field position.
And maybe that's the momentum that they need. And here's that replay there. Again, I formation, they haven't really seen that, but that's a rare fumble there by Noble Johnson. And then Greencastle almost had that unfortunate event again with a fumble, but fortunately it bounced right into his arms. Now they have great field position down at the 11-yard line. If you're Greencastle, especially facing off against the number two team in 2A, these are possessions that you have to capitalize on. You've got to score.
Huff nearly gave it right back, and they'll start with an end around. Here's Connor George. Wilson with the lead block, and George reaches the end zone for the Tiger Cubs. The very first play after the turnover, and the Tiger Cubs capitalize, putting it in the end zone for 6.
That's a great play call there by Coach Mike Meyer. Kind of the end around. You have a guy moving in motion from your left, moves to the right side, and instead of him doing the sweep, you have George coming off the right side, running behind him in case he wants to hand that ball off. Did a nice job from the running back, handing it off, and George only had one guy to beat, especially with his quarterback blocking down the field. And we talked about capitalizing on turnovers. That's exactly what you have to do if you're going to face off and try to beat this Parke Heritage team.
Williamson, the usual kicker, in for the PAT, and he puts it through. A 1-point game. Greencastle responds from the turnover. They trail 8-7 on IndianaSRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Owen Huff on the fumble recovery for Greencastle sets up the Tiger Cubs offense in prime position, and they score on the very first play with a 13-yard reverse end around to Connor George. It's a nice way to respond after giving up an opening drive from Parke Heritage that went the distance, and they able to put 8 points on the board. The return for the Wolves. Flag comes in the backfield. And we'll get another look at this end around that got the Tiger Cubs on the board.
So you see the running back in motion there from the left side, gets the handoff. And again, he has the option of either running it or handing it off. He sees that George needs that ball and one guy to beat. His quarterback did a great job blocking. Like to see him cut inside. You know, if you want to critique anything on that play, he had a little bit more room. But George finally gets the ball. He was missed twice down the field on pass opportunities from Kiefer Wilson that time. Gets in the end zone by running the football. So, again, great job by Greencastle capitalizing on a turnover, and you got great field position. Now you got to have that defense step up again. It's going to be a defensive battle. You mentioned to me if this Greencastle defense can play up to their standard against this Parke Heritage offense and hold them maybe to about 20, 21 points, they've got a good shot here at winning this game.
So after the penalty on the return, it sets Parke Heritage back, starting at the 13-yard line. Johnson takes his time before this snap. Quick hitter on the hitch. Far side, picking up the first down. Noble Johnson with his 5th reception already, and we're still in the first quarter of play. 5 catches, 46 yards now for Noble Johnson.
You talked about him being a quote-unquote X factor. I mean, it's between him and Andres Miller, who you would like to call that, but looking for him right there on that slant.
That was Miller, and Johnson threw it well behind him. Luckily, no one there to pick it off. Owen Huff in the area for Greencastle, and more on the coverage. Second down and 10 after the incompletion. That was the 11th pass thrown in this first quarter by Christian Johnson. Last week, his game, he was on top of the things. 23 of 34 is what he finished for 396 yards and 5 TD passes. Noble Johnson, the recipient of 3 of those touchdown passes, and Miller grabbed the other 2. Blitz coming from Greencastle, and he is swarmed in the backfield. Johnson goes down, and a couple of players back there for Greencastle, including Kobe Higgle. Cody Heigl, excuse me, got that name right. But the pressure was applied by Greencastle. Now sets up third and very long upcoming for Parke Heritage. Third in a country mile, as Bill Ludlow would say.
Yeah, and good pressure there. You saw Johnson wanted to go deep, did a nice job holding that ball back. If you think there possibly might be an interception on that play, you kind of hold that, make sure you don't throw it, and just take the sack. This offense could, they could very well easily pick up this play. They've got the playmakers on the outside. Another I formation here. We'll see if it's another run.
Be a situation here where Parke Heritage, they'll try the end around as well. Andres Miller picking it up and gets a couple of yards back. They're still inside the 20. Connor George, nice open field tackle on that far side. And now we'll see the first punt upcoming, at least we think, from Parke Heritage. Christian Johnson is the man that will punt it away when they do. And he does have an empty backfield. 3 receivers to his right. Could see a couple steps back and a punt sent away. Connor George for Greencastle standing around midfield at the 48. Johnson does take those steps back. Clock gets down to 1:11, and now we get a flag on the play.
Delay of game.
And he took too much time to Christian Johnson, so a delay of game called against the Wolves. That'll set them back even farther. And sometimes you take the delay of game in a situation when you're around midfield just to give the punter a little bit more room to work with, but this is the last spot. You want a penalty like that if you're Parke Heritage. Punt away from Johnson. Nice spiraling kick. Fielded at the 50 by George. Misses the first 2 tacklers. Down the middle of the field. Now taking it far side. George could go. And he will. Connor George gives Greencastle the lead. He has the 2 touchdowns for the Tiger Cubs. A 50-yard punt return for number 87.
We talked about Kiefer Wilson being the guy to look out for on Greencastle. Now George is saying, hey, Jared, don't forget about me down on this field. An end-around touchdown and now a punt return for a touchdown. And this Greencastle Tiger Cubs team kind of hitting Parke Heritage in the mouth here. They could go up 14-8. And, I mean, I'm not sure a lot of people had Greencastle maybe leading, at least by the end of the first quarter in this game. Greencastle proving that they belong in the conversation, and their record of 2-2 doesn't stand.
Tiger Cubs putting all the pressure now on Parke Heritage. Still a lot of time left to go in this one. 44.3 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Williamson's kick is up. And like usual, it is good. So now Greencastle takes a lead. They lead it by 6 here on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv.
At the end of the first quarter play, Scott Putnam.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
The first punt of the ball game from Parke Heritage, something they don't do very often, and Connor George makes them pay. 50 yards on the return to pay dirt, and the Tiger Cubs lead it 14-8 with just under a minute left to go in this first quarter.
And a great job here by Greencastle. The momentum clearly on their side, and the defense, they've done a nice job containing. Again, they're only going to throw to 2 people on that offensive side for Parke Heritage, and Andrees Miller and also Noble Johnson. So if you can just contain them, maybe keep them at the line of scrimmage where they're catching the ball, and then make the sure tackle. You know, Greencastle is in a great position here in this first quarter, leading 14-8.
George had just 1 receiving touchdown coming into this game, and he has 2 touchdowns tonight, but they haven't come in the receiving manner. A rushing touchdown to begin things, 13-yard score on the end around, and now a 50-yard punt return. Greencastle set to send it away with Williamson. Who wears number 4? Miller, number 7, fields it from the 6. Starts towards the middle, now brings it near side towards the Greencastle sideline. Brought down by McGuire and company at the 34. Another good look at this. Great return from George.
So a short punt here, but you see George immediately gets that kind of explosion, makes a spin move, and I thought he'd be tackled there, but he's just so big and kind of hard to bring down, and you have that one guy to beat. I was kind of hoping he wasn't going to hold. You know, usually on those punt returns, they get called back for a holding penalty somewhere, and that would have been the only spot where I would have saw a hold, but George did a nice job maneuvering through traffic and getting all the way down to the end zone. About a 50-yard punt return.
One of the tailbacks for Greencastle on the block, Peyton Welker, getting the block on the punter, Christian Johnson. And here is Christian connecting up with Anthony Wood. 5-yard gain on 1st and 10.
Number 28, Kiefer Wilson on the stop.
Second catch for Wood. 3 different guys with the catch, Miller, Wood, and Noble Johnson. That could be the last play of the first quarter, although Parke Heritage still has 10 seconds to decide. Now 5 seconds, 2nd and 6. Johnson does take the snap. Last play of this opening quarter. Feels the pressure again. Doesn't go down, stays on his feet. Johnson has a man down the field. It's Miller, and nice deflection coming in the corner for Greencastle. Lamar Moore, just a sophomore, able to break up the pass intended for the senior receiver in Miller.
And, I mean, we'll talk about that play when we get back from the break. There's a holding penalty on the defensive side, so kind of negate that good play, but it was still an all-around and a very impressive play from both sides, and we can talk about that once we get back from the other side of the break.
Defensive holding called on the opposite side, so Parke Heritage will have better field position when we come back to start this second quarter on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv. So not so fast. After the defensive holding call, there'll be one untimed down for Parke Heritage. They now have a new set of downs at the 48. Christian Johnson sends Vance in motion. 3 receivers near side. And a block up front. Wilson brought the pressure, and he was in great position to send it back. So now we can go to a break and enter the second quarter of play when we come back here on IndianaSRN from Greencastle, Indiana.
Home and visitors.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Three.
12 minutes on the clock, a new quarter. We enter the second quarter play from Greencastle High School and Robert Harbison Stadium. Jarrett Lewis alongside CJ Benberry on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv. An eventful first quarter of play. Parke Heritage looked incredible on their first drive, getting it into the end zone and putting the 2-point conversion on with it. But 14 unanswered now from Greencastle, including both scores, I should say, from Connor George.
And now their defense has stepped up for Greencastle. They've blitz slide. You can see them maybe going again here. Yep, they're bringing 5, and that's forcing Johnson as another play here rolling out.
He does roll out and now comes back middle of the field. Johnson does this so well. Great open field tackle by Connor George. A long run to just pick up 9, still short of the first.
I'm going to go back to this play, Jared. You see Johnson almost getting sacked here, so a very good job by Johnson, staying on his feet, continuing to keep his eyes down the field. And if that wasn't good enough, Lamar Moore for Greencastle did a great job getting up and defending that pass, not doing a pass interference, although there was a hold on that play, it wasn't his fault. He did a great job deflecting that pass.
Johnson on the keep on 3rd and short. Doesn't pick up anything. So now it's 4th and short. Exactly 1 yard coming up for the Wolves of Parke Heritage. Johnson will be in the gun. He's got Vance on his right. Man jumps for Greencastle, and that'll do it. That'll give Parke Heritage a free 5 yards and an automatic first down.
From the previous spot, and the result of the penalty is a first down.
Last thing you want, reminds me of that play last night in Thursday Night Football. That Giants guy right over the football on that field goal attempt from Washington, jumping offside, so giving another opportunity for Hopkins, and he was able to drill it, give the football team the win. Rolling out again, Johnson feeling the pressure, and the man who committed the offsides comes in and redeems himself for the sack. On the sack is Cameron Pingleton of Greencastle.
Right now, the defensive coordinator for Greencastle is calling a great game. He's continuing to bring pressure, 3 down linemen, but he's bringing the linebackers on a blitz. And if you're Christian Johnson, if you keep seeing that same blitz, he wants to throw the ball deep. He wants to get the ball to his 2 playmakers. If the blitz is coming, that's when you need to maybe do a wide receiver screen or running back screen. Get that ball out quickly and get it in the hands of your playmakers and let them do the heavy lifting while the blitz is coming towards you.
Parke Heritage now going backwards. They're at the 49 of Greencastle. 2nd and 21. 3 receivers near side. Miller, Wood, and Johnson, the 3 leading receivers on this ball club. More pressure. Wilson. Nobody picked him up, and it's another sack on back-to-back plays for Greencastle, although there is a flag down as well.
Johnson a little slow to get up. He can't be happy with his offensive line. I mean, they're just letting him be a sitting duck, and again, they're bringing pressure to Greencastle from the right, left, and the middle. So Parke Heritage has to do some line adjustments here and figuring out where that blitz is coming.
The penalty was on Parke Heritage, and Greencastle wisely will opt to decline the penalty, take the sack. So now Parke Heritage has gone from the 49 of Greencastle to the 41 on their side of the field. So that was a 12-yard sack by Wilson. That's the 3rd sack of the ball game for Greencastle.
And now they got to get to the 38 of Greencastle. So we'll see if Greencastle decides to send the blitz once again or if they're going to kind of back off. You see those 2 linebackers, 52 and 28. The 2 outside looking like they're going to blitz, and they are.
3rd and a country mile and a half. And more pressure from Greencastle. Johnson escapes it, but Wilson won't let him get much farther. 3 consecutive sacks for the Tiger Cubs. And on back-to-back plays, Kiefer Wilson, the one getting to the backfield.
And again, it's the offensive line is just not seeming to know where that blitz is coming from. If you're Coach Mike Meyer or Greencastle, I'm continuing to bring blitz until they figure out what they can do to stop us. And if you're Parke Heritage, again, if you know the blitz is coming, get the ball out quickly, protect your quarterback. Because right now you mentioned 3 sacks right in a row, and it's really been detrimental to how they want to get the ball again. The line of scrimmage, was Greencastle's 38-yard line. They had to get to the 28 of Greencastle for a first down, and they're all the way back in their own territory at their own 44.
Play clock has wind down to 0. I don't know if Parke Heritage just didn't realize it, or if, again, that's the 2nd time now in punt formation they've been called for delay of game.
Delay of game is the call against the Wolves, 5 yards from the previous spot.
Parke Heritage now was once at the 38 of Greencastle. We can see the down markers from our vantage point, and now they are all the way back, punting at the 28 of Greencastle.
Flag on the play, but a terrible kick there. And so again, their own 40 went into the 49-yard line of Greencastle. So things are just not going right here for Parke Heritage. They kind of regroup on the sideline. Again, recognize where the blitz is coming from, pick up their blitz formation, shift the line, shift the blocking wherever it needs to go, and then get back on the field, because this doesn't look like the number 2 team right now in 2A.
That flag came in immediately at the snap, and referees are currently discussing it. Greencastle will have great field position to start on the 49. A high punt from Christian Johnson. Personal foul going against Greencastle. They say it's number 25 of the Tiger Cubs. That's Lamar Moore. He's had a great game so far through nearly a quarter and a half of play. So now it won't be the 49-yard line for Greencastle. They'll get backed up.
And so far in the year, Lamar Moore doesn't have any receiving yards. All of his touches have been through the ground, 2 carries, 2 yards. But again, he had a good run there in the first half, and he also deflected that pass right before the first quarter was ended. So he's had a good game so far. While we have a break, Jared, I kind of want to go over some scores that we have on our other IndianaSRN networks. Heritage leads Cecina 13-0, 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Covenant Christian leads Tinley 21-0. That is 11 minutes in the first quarter. Traders Point leads Frontier 14-0. And again, you can catch all these games on our other IndianaSRN networks on youtube.com/IndianaSRN. Make sure you click that subscribe button while you're there.
So with that personal foul, the Wolves have a chance here on 4th and long. Here's a shot to Johnson down the field, and they connect.
Wow.
The Johnson and Johnson connection has Parke Heritage set up almost 1st and goal, just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. So they go from the 45 down to the 11. We get another look at it.
You see just a go formation there. Again, no single safety back there, just a go route. And if you saw that scoreboard, Jared, it said 4th and 45, and now they have a 1st and 10 at the 11. That's why you don't panic on this Parke Heritage team.
That was a 44-yard throw from Christian Johnson to Noble Johnson. And so what was a disastrous-looking drive for Parke Heritage going backwards, they get another crack at it on 4th and very long, and it's a 44 yards between Christian and Noble. Christian looking to Noble again, and he overthrows him. Crossing patterns for Parke Heritage. Pass falls incomplete. 3rd and 5 upcoming.
One thing I noticed there, they did a better job. A blitz again came from Greencastle in that defense, but their running back for Parke Heritage, Dakota Vance, did a nice job recognizing where that was. Left his original man to pick up the free-wheeling linebacker that came in. Gave enough time for Christian Johnson, although he overthrew that ball. Gave him enough time to make that pass. That's what Parke Heritage is going to have to do, especially if Greencastle is going to continue to blitz this entire game. You see it coming again here, 3 linebackers, line of scrimmage.
Johnson, quick hitter in the flat out to Anthony Wood, and he reaches across the goal line for the score. So Parke Heritage able to tie it up at 14. What a turn of events we have here in the second quarter. Parke Heritage will keep the offense out and go for 2. But punting, and it was 4th and at least 35, 36.
It was 4th and 45.
45, okay.
Yeah, and so again, that's a momentum killer. That definitely burst the balloon that Greencastle had. They had sacks on 3 different plays. They had them all the way back in their own territory, punting the ball. And then you get that 4th and long play, and now that you end up giving a touchdown here, possibly a 2-point conversion.
Trying to retake the lead, and they will. Christian Johnson again to Noble. It's a 2-point lead for Parke Heritage. 7:09 left to go in this second quarter from Greencastle. Make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel at IndianaSRN. Click that red button. Also, click that notification bell. Your Always notified of when we go live. 5 football games for you on this Friday night on the family of networks. And we are here in Greencastle in Putnam County. Tiger Cubs giving up the big long pass to Noble Johnson. It was 44 yards on the catch, and that had them set up at the 10-yard line. And it was a 10-yard pass completion to Anthony Wood, and that gives Parke Heritage back the lead 16-14 after the good 2-point conversion.
If you're Parke Heritage, I think you might have taken advantage of them blitzing so far. Again, on a 4th and 45, you don't even expect them to be going for it. But you saw how that punt went for him before that penalty. The punt went maybe 10, 15 yards, so that's why you see them go for the extra point or the 2-point conversion and go for it on punting down. But on a 4th and 45, you can't give up a 50-yard pass there for a 1st and goal. That's just unacceptable for this Greencastle defense. But, they'll take it back to the huddle and they'll regroup and adjust.
Short kick coming up to field it is McGuire, and full speed ahead. Gets to the 48 for Greencastle. So good field position to start this drive. 7:04 left to go in quarter number 2.
And the good thing is, especially on kickoffs or with anything like that, you're going to have good field position because they're not kicking the ball hard or far. So take it back in that touchdown pass here. You see him just scroll to the right, and it's that same play that they ran before, except last time it went to Andrews Miller, but this time it goes to their running back, Anthony Wood. Just a rollout and a simple play to the pylon.
Great play call there by Coach Brian Moore as the Wolves retake the lead. Kiefer Wilson back to work, fakes the give, and keeps it himself up the middle for 6 yards. Wilson, that's just his 2nd carry tonight, and both of them have gone for 6.
He hasn't needed to carry the ball today. He's had his big playmaker, George, been able to get in the end zone twice, and that defense step up for him. So, I think if you're coach Mike Meyer, if your defense and special teams can get you points and you can just have Kiefer Wilson just control the clock, manage the clock, I think you'll take that, and then icing on the cake and be beating this Parke Heritage team.
George was the man in motion. Wilson again on the keep. Picks up the 1st down and more to the 37-yard line of Parke Heritage.
Tackle made by number 25.
10-yard gain for Kiefer Wilson on 3 carries. He's got 26 yards on the ground.
And a 6'2", 190-pound senior, so this would be great on the resume for Kiefer Wilson if he can be at home and beat the number 2 team in 2A in Parke Heritage. And so far, he's had a nice job on the ground. You'd like to see him make a couple passes. He overthrew a couple receivers. We'll see if he keeps the ball here.
Counterplay to McGuire. Stood up at the 35. Vance, along with Noble Johnson coming in to keep him from getting past that 44. So McGuire does get to the 44 for about 3 on the carry.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd down, 7.
This Tiger Cub offense averaging just 18 points a game while only giving up 16 to their opponents, and that's what Parke Heritage is at for the moment. Offense doing their job. Defense had a great fumble picked up by Owen Huff to set up the offense to score. And the punt return from George. So other than that, Greencastle still giving up 2 touchdown drives to Parke Heritage that have ended up in 8 points each. George in motion again. That's another fake. Wilson up the middle to the 30-yard line on the right hash.
And this is exactly what if you want to do if you're Greencastle. You're controlling the clock. You have the ball starting at about the 45, 46-yard line. You're marching down in the Parke Heritage territory inside the 30, at the 30-yard line. You're wasting time off the clock. You're only down 2, but you're managing the clock. You're running the ball, moving the ball effectively. Again, they've done a nice job here offensively, and their defense has looked good so far in this first half. If you're Coach Mike Meyer, you're very happy with how your team's playing. But again, with this field position, Jared, you want to capitalize with what you have. You've got to find a way to get points on the board.
Wilson fakes the give to McGuire. Again, up the middle, and he's got a hole. Wilson's going to go. Kiefer Wilson from 30 yards out re-gives the lead to his Greencastle team. And they go up 20-16 with 4:23 left to play.
Another quarterback keeper, but this time the hole opened up. The offensive line did a great job moving the blockers of the defensive line of Parke Heritage out of the way, and that hole was big enough for Noah's Ark to get through. And Kiefer Wilson took advantage of that and scampered for a 30-yard touchdown. And this Greencastle offense is looking good so far in this first half. They're punching Parke Heritage in the mouth. 5
rushes, and they've gone like this for Kiefer Wilson. 6, 6, 10, 4, and now 30 yards to pay dirt. Extra point is good from Williamson, and Greencastle goes back up 21-16, 4:23 left to go.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We have ourselves a ball game, 21-16, our score, 4:23 left to go. Williamson and the kickoff team getting ready to send this one back to Parke Heritage. And you were talking about it, CJ, how Greencastle was winding the clock, letting the play clock run down with it, running the football, just trying to take up as much time as they could. But when you have a wide open hole like that, you can drive a Mack truck through that one.
Yeah.
You're gonna go ahead and score if you're Kiefer Wilson, of course.
And you're gonna have to. So now with your defense playing well, and your offense is doing that, you know, you're in a good position if you're Greencastle. If you go into this half with this score here, maybe down 2, you know, you'll take that for Coach Meyer, and it's just all about executing in the second half.
Williamson's kick pushes Wood back to the 10. He takes it towards the Parke Heritage bench. Makes a cut back towards the middle of the field. Good return for Anthony Wood as he gets it to the 36, back towards that Greencastle touchdown.
Here's our replay again. Again, you see how big the hole is, and just Wilson taking advantage of it. Right now, this Parke Heritage defense, I'm not sure if they're just surprised that a team is keeping up with them so far, or what it is. We haven't seen that dynamic pass attack besides that 50-yard bomb that we saw on a 4th and 45. There haven't been a lot of deep shots. There have been a lot of passes to the line of scrimmage, maybe get 5 or 6 yards. But we haven't seen Christian Johnson really air that ball out like we thought we were going to see so far, in this game. So, I mean, we still have another 4:13 to go in this second quarter and another half to go to see if we can air it out. But Parke Heritage is going to have to step up a little bit.
Beginning from the 36, Johnson off his back foot has Wood down the sideline. Does he get that right foot in? Referee says he does. What an acrobatic catch made there by Anthony Wood. And now Parke Heritage, in the blink of an eye, over into Greencastle territory.
And a great adjustment there from the wide receiver on the fly. I thought he might have overthrown his intended target there, but again, he tracked the ball and then knew where the line, where that outside out of bounds line was, and got 1 foot down that right foot. Great pass and great catch.
23 yards on the connection, and more pressure coming from Greencastle. Johnson is able to get it away. Is it complete? No, it is not, as Miller is trying to get that 1 foot down on the far sideline, but more pressure brought in, and who else but Kiefer Wilson, the do-it-all man for Greencastle, in that backfield.
And more pressure here from the Greencastle defensive line. Parke Heritage just can't seem to pick it up or decipher where that's coming from. Again, Johnson wants to throw the ball deep. He just doesn't have enough time to get that ball thrown. So, again, you see 3 linemen there, but those linebackers keep at the line of scrimmage, so it's about 8 in the box.
Johnson goes away from the blitz, loses it. It's on the ground. Greencastle says they have it. Referees do come in. But he did get it back. A couple of Greencastle players there defensively almost caused another fumble from Parke Heritage.
But that time they did a quarterback run, so if you're going to blitz up the middle, Parke Heritage is going to counter and say, okay, we're going to run to the left side. That time a good game there by Johnson. Got to make sure you hold on to that football, and very fortunate that it bounced back into his hands. I thought Greencastle might have jumped on that ball, but Parke Heritage will retain possession. Again, if they're going to blitz quick passes or a quarterback run, try to get them off balance and make Greencastle not blitz anymore, make them go back in coverage.
The past 2 plays, 23 yards on the connection to Wood, and then there was the incompletion, but now that last play, a 12-yard scamper for Christian Johnson. Parke Heritage doesn't know what they want to do offensively. They call a timeout with 3:14 left to play in this opening half. Back in a moment on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Timeout called by Coach Brian Moore of Parke Heritage. There's the huddle with Coach Meyer of Greencastle. His team trying to get a defensive stop before this half. Still plenty of time left to go. If Parke Heritage were to score quick, Greencastle would have enough time to try to put together possibly a 2-minute drive down towards the other end of the field. Right now, Parke Heritage at the 29 of Greencastle and threatening to score yet again in this first half.
If you're Parke Heritage, I want to score quickly. Maybe get that clock under 2 minutes, and then when you give that ball back to Greencastle, I want to make Greencastle throw the football. I think he has, maybe 2-3 passes this game so far. Everything else has been run, so if you're Parke Heritage, score, then put the pressure on that offense of Greencastle. Make Kiefer Wilson throw the football and not hurt you with the legs.
2 attempts from Wilson. Meanwhile, that's the 20th attempt from Christian Johnson, and it's enough for a first down, 11 yards, and he hooks back up with Anthony Wood.
And when Johnson has time to throw in that pocket, he's got a good strong arm, a good base with his legs. He gets his feet set. He doesn't stare down one receiver, and that time you saw him there. Look at Wood on a nice out route there to that out-of-bounds line, but a nice strong throw there from Johnson.
Wilson comes in on the blitz. They get it out quickly to Noble Johnson. 2 guys out in front, getting to the corner, diving for the end zone. The signal is a touchdown for Noble Johnson. Number 25, that's his 8th reception here tonight. Actually, no, they mark him down. They mark him short. So one referee had him in, but the referee closest to the play does have him just inside the 1-yard line.
I mean, from our advantage point, the dive looked like he got it in, but we're high up. The refs are going to say a touchdown. So a nice job there from Parke Heritage, and I think it was, as you mentioned, Noble Johnson getting to that pylon and extending. Now with that 2-point conversion, again, if they get this, be down 3. If you're Greencastle, you'll take that going and a half down 3, but Parke Heritage, that's what they wanted. Score quickly and then make this Greencastle offense throw the football. They can't run every time, especially under 2 minutes.
So it was a touchdown. They just moved the ball to the spot where they go for 2, and getting hit as he throw, a big-time hit. Kiefer Wilson coming in from the blind side on Johnson. That's the first 2-point conversion that Parke Heritage has failed to convert, but they still lead it by 1. 2:45 left to go in this second quarter from Greencastle.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Retaking the lead is Parke Heritage. That's now the 4th lead change of this ballgame. They're up 22-21 after the 18-yard touchdown reception for Noble Johnson. He has 8 catches, good for 110 yards receiving. Quite the first half between that Johnson, Noble wearing number 25, and number 10, Christian Johnson.
And Christian Johnson is not going to be on the field much longer if that offensive line doesn't start protecting him. On that 2-point play, he got knocked by Kiefer Wilson, and he was slow to get up. So, again, you got to protect your best, one of your best players on offense. He also plays defense too, so you've got to make sure he continues to stay upright if you're Parke Heritage. And if you're Greencastle, again, if they're not going to pick up the blitz, continue to bring the pressure, make that offensive line protect him, and make Christian Johnson make the right read. Again, he wants to throw that ball deep. That's what Parke Heritage is known for. Some deep passes, some deep throws, but he doesn't have the time to throw it because this Greencastle defensive line is getting in the backfield in 2 seconds or less.
4 sacks for the Greencastle defense. Coming into this one, Kiefer Wilson had 4 sacks of his own, which led the team. Also leading the team in total tackles with 36. There are 7 players for Greencastle with 20 tackles or more. And like you said, CJ, taking those big hits were Johnson, and he's not going to be the one to kick this one away. It'll be Noble Johnson, who just had the touchdown reception. And to send it away from the 40, Connor George, the deep man for Greencastle. With the front of his toe, Johnson sends it away, and up the middle, here goes George. Oh, hit! Ball goes loose, but George is able to pounce back on it. Took a hit at the 45, and that pushed the ball back to the 42, but still great field position, setting up a 2-minute warning now for the Tiger Cubs.
I mean, with a hit like that, you're surprised he even was able to go back and get back on that ball. That was a big hit there. I'm sure George wasn't expecting that kind of a hit, but fortunate for Greencastle to get back on the ball here, and now at the ball at the 42-yard line. Again, let's see if Kiefer Wilson will throw the ball here. You've got some time till the 2-minute warning to maybe run the ball, get a couple plays here, but I think you can't run the ball every single play, get down there. You've got to air that ball out.
2:40 to work with in all 3 timeouts. They will throw on first down over the middle. Wilson connects with George.
That's what you want to see. That's a good job there from Wilson, staying in the pocket. His offensive line did a great job blocking, and he made a good pass there to George. All 3 of his pass attempts have gone to George. 2 have been overthrown. That time he connects with him. So from his 42 to Parke Heritage 34, that's a good connection there and a great way to start this drive.
34 yards. First completion tonight for Greencastle, and it's to Connor George, who has his 12th reception on the season. They put everybody out wide. George in motion. We've seen this play a couple of times, and it's been working. It works here again. Wilson won't go down inside the 25, picking up a first down to the 23-yard line.
And I mentioned that you want to see them throw the ball, and now with 2 minutes to go and you're inside the 25, this is the point time again. Run the clock down, maybe run the ball with Kiefer Wilson. If you have an opportunity to throw the ball, maybe on a post route, again, no single safety back there, so they have an opportunity.
Here's the give to McGuire. Welker as the lead back, pushing the pile close to the 15. They'll get to the 16-yard line. And on 1st and 10, chunk yardage play picked up by the Tiger Cubs. Whistles and referees stop the clock. Coach Meyer calling a timeout for Greencastle. They have 1:34 left to play in this first half.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Out of the Greencastle timeout, Tiger Cubs back out on the field at the 16-yard line. Direct give, here's Wilson. Towards the edge, now brings it back middle of the field. He's a tough guy to bring down. And he finally does get brought down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. 10-yard pickup, and the clock will start to wind. Greencastle not wanting to score too quick and give enough time for Parke Heritage, who has 2 timeouts of their own.
And when you saw that 50-yard bomb on a 4th and 45, you definitely don't want to give them the ball back. But, I mean, just great vision there by the quarterback of Greencastle. It looked like, again, he had nowhere to go, and he somehow makes something out of nothing. And now, first and goal up to 6. They have an opportunity here. Look for a run play to the running back or the quarterback.
Under a minute left to go. It's McGuire up the middle, and he powers forward across the goal line for a Tiger Cub touchdown. That'll stop the clock at 47.9 seconds. But good work offensively for Greencastle. McGuire gets it into the purple turf.
But was it too quick? Is 48 seconds enough time for Christian Johnson to get down the field and put 6 on the board for Parke Heritage? That's the only thing you worry about with an offense that explosive. Again, if the way Greencastle defense been playing, I think Coach Meyer would like that odds, especially with the way they've been blitzing.
Williamson's PAT. It's deflected up front off the crossbar. Almost goes through, but it will not. 3 of 4 now is Williamson on his PATs, but Tiger Cubs still lead at 27-22 with 47.9 left to go in this first half. Let's see where this deflection comes from on this PAT.
It didn't look like it had to come from the middle.
Good snap, good hold. Maybe just a low line drive kick from Williamson. Tiger Cubs set to kick this one away. Parke Heritage has 2 timeouts left to use, and they will be working quick with that passing attack, which right now, Christian Johnson, he is 15 of 22 for 180 yards through the air. Quite the first half for him. This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. There's Williamson, freshman kicker.
We talked about going in the half. If you're Coach Meyer, if you could be maybe down 3, but now you're up 5 going into half. If you can hold Parke Heritage to no score here, I mean, you have to be happy with that. And holding this Parke Heritage explosive offense, only 22 points. We talked about if you can hold them to this score throughout the entire game, you have a good shot. And so far, they've done that. You got to make sure that defense stays stout.
Squib kick up the middle, and falling on it at the 37 is Parke Heritage. Takes just a second and a half off the clock. Dakota Vance falling on it.
And now you give Parke Heritage good field position at the 38. 46 seconds to get down the field and put up 6. I wonder if Greencastle is going to switch up their defense. They've been bringing about 5 or 6 and leaving everything no single safety, but looks like here they have the cornerbacks playing a little bit back, and they have two safeties there, so looks like they're going to be playing the pass.
And Christian Johnson not in at quarterback. Right now it's Miller. Wilson got a nice head start. He's trying to chase Miller from behind. He's tripped up from behind. Falls down. 3-yard pickup to the 40. And Parke Heritage doesn't seem to be in quite a bit of a hurry. It's a little bit different of an offensive game plan now that Johnson isn't out there at the quarterback spot.
You wonder if it's an injury or if they're just going to save him to the second half. He's been taking a beating here in this first half.
A lot of time winding down. They snap it at 14. Miller. Just a simple give to Vance up the middle. They go backwards, even behind the original line of scrimmage. And that's how the first half will come to a close after the 5-yard loss on the carry to Dakota Vance. But there were some fireworks offensively and defensively. Ultimately, after 24 minutes of play, Greencastle leads it 27-22. 4 separate lead changes, and that man right there, Kiefer Wilson, doing a lot to help his Tiger Cubs stay in this ball game.
Offensively and defensively, did a nice job rushing the ball in the first half, finally completed a pass, and now defensively he's had some good pressure, and Christian Johnson knocked him out of the game.
27-22, our halftime score here at Greencastle High School. Our second half coming up after 15 minutes of halftime.
$546.67 was collected, and will go to the Tackle Children's Cancer P.S. We Love You Fund at Riley Hospital. On behalf of the Greencastle High School National Honor Society and Greencastle High School Football Parents Club, we thank you for all your donations and T-shirt purchases.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
Sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid earned that solo!
You say mine did?
Yeah!
Come on!
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
As big or as grand, but it is. And the experience you're going to have here, the people you're going to meet here, and all of the things that will come.
Game day on IndianaSRN. And now here's a special message from Assistant Commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Sandra Walter.
In cooperation with the Indiana High School Athletic Association, IndianaSRN would like to thank the men and women who officiate our sports contests. Congratulations to the following officials who've been selected as Official of the Year in their respective sport. This distinction is based on service to student athletes, coaches, and community over decades. These men and women have given countless hours to promoting and ensuring that education-based athletics are afforded to your student athlete. In cross country, Mr. Ted Knopfsinger. Soccer for 21-22, Mr. Lawrence Lohner. In volleyball in the north, Mr. Steve Klein. And in football in Lake County, Mr. Fred Schob. If you'd like to become an IHSAA official, please contact Sandra Walter at the IHSAA office. Phone number 317-846-6601. And a huge thank you to Mr. Keith Meyer and IndianaSRN for being such an advocate to our officials, our student athletes, and our administrators of 407 member schools across the state of Indiana. We certainly thank you for the support and the constant effort to promote all that is good about education-based athletics.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to Greencastle High School. You see the score there, 27-22. The Tiger Cubs on top of the Wolves of Parke Heritage, ranked 6th in Class 1A, and they are giving them all they've got. 4 separate lead changes in that first half, and right now we are at halftime, and we welcome back on a very special guest. He was here with us 2 weeks ago at Greencastle when they were hosting West Vigo. It's Eric Vaughn, CEO of the Greencastle Golden Knights Sports and Entertainment. Eric, thanks so much for coming back on. It's been 2 weeks since you were with us, but we're back to talk about the Greencastle Golden Knights and what we can expect now. We've had a bit of some news learning about looking for a facility to have your team playing. So talk about that and what's kind of happened since we last met in these past 2 weeks.
Yeah, so first, thanks for having me back on. What we've been able to accomplish so far is that we're in the process of working out an agreement with the Greencastle Community School Corporation and secure McAnally as our home playing facility for the 2022 season. Once we secure that facility or a facility, the league will be ready to announce us. And once we get that announcement, we're going to try to have another press conference. And then after that, we're going to try to have an open tryout at that point.
So talk about that tryout now. It hasn't occurred yet, so tell the viewers, the listeners at home, when that tryout is, how players can get in contact with you and perhaps come out and try to try out for the Greencastle Golden Knights.
Yeah, so the good thing about the TBL is that they actually attract the players for us. What they're going to end up doing, we don't have a date set yet, but once we get a date set, the TBL will actually invite players from all over the United States to come in and try out. We'll have it here at the facility, and that's how we kind of attract our players. We're also going to try to reach out to some of the local talent here. So we'll put some flyers up, put it in the paper, try to get it on the radio, whatever we got to do to attract that local talent. But they're already starting to try to send me some players. I did have a young man call me last night from Louisville, Kentucky, that's expressed interest to come and playing up here. So he's originally from Gary, Indiana, wants to come back to Indiana for a shot to play in the TBL.
Awesome stuff. All right, so now talk about the TBL a little bit more. Just the basics, how many teams, what the schedule will look like, and when games will start to get going in that league.
Okay, so I don't really know exactly how many teams they've got. I mean, they've got coast to coast. I know here in Indiana they're working on they've got a team in Kokomo. I think they just got a franchise down there in Medora. They're working on one in Terre Haute. and I think one in Newcastle. They're all over the United States. So we're looking at our typical season is between March and June. So we'll play in the springtime into the summer. That's typically when we play.
So once the Golden Knights get into formation and start to get going, what do you think having that team in this city, in Greencastle, what will that do to the community, and what can you say to any potential fans about this team? What can you say to them to try and get them pumped up about this upcoming TBL season?
I truly believe it's going to bring a lot of excitement to Putnam County as a whole, not only the city of Greencastle, but Putnam County as a whole, because this is professional basketball. We pay our players to play. It's affordable. You're not paying hundreds of dollars to come see a ball game. You're only paying about $10 to $12 for a general admission ticket. It's just going to bring excitement to the city of Greencastle. And on top of that, it kind of goes along with our mission, youth and community outreach. So, not only are we bringing that entertainment to the city of Greencastle, but we want to be able to reach out to the community. Our players are going to get into the schools. We want to work with nonprofit organizations. I think the whole scheme of things beyond sports and entertainment, I think it goes into the community.
Again, we're talking to Eric Vaughn, CEO of the Greencastle Golden Knights Sports and Entertainment. So, if a local business wants to sponsor you, how can they get in contact with you, and what are the media outlets that you will have for the Greencastle Golden Knights?
So right now we do have a Facebook page. You can find Greencastle Golden Knights Basketball on Facebook. We've also got a website at goldennightsbasketball.com. We're going to have Twitter, Instagram, work on a YouTube channel. Those are ways they can contact us via our website and Facebook right now. We're also going to have a press conference, and we're going to invite all these potential sponsors to that press conference to learn a little bit more about the opportunities we're going to give them.
Eric, thanks so much for joining us again. He was here with us 2 weeks ago, and pleasure to have him back on here for our halftime show on IndianaSRN. Eric Vaughn, the CEO of Greencastle Golden Knights Sports and Entertainment, the professional basketball organization coming soon to the city of Greencastle. We're at halftime here at Greencastle High School. Tiger Cubs on top, 27-22.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Inching closer to the start of the second half from Robert L. Harbison Stadium in Greencastle High School, the Tiger Cubs take a lead as we are getting close to the second half. They have it 27-22 on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv. Jarrett Lewis along with Charles C.J. Binberry. C.J., quite the impressive offensive outpouring from Parke Heritage, and Greencastle still was able to respond. It was through the air for the Wolves, and it appears that Christian Johnson was a little banged up towards the end of that first half, so he's questionable to return to that quarterback spot. Yeah. And along with that pressure that defensively Greencastle's been able to bring, their offense really started to click in that second quarter with a 30-yard rushing touchdown from Kiefer Wilson with 4:23 left to play, and then under a minute scoring again with Jacob McGuire. The run game really got going in that second quarter.
Yeah, it was an all-around good effort in that first half for Greencastle. That's what Coach Meyer wants to do. If he can bring pressure with the defense and the offense, can run some clock with your running back and or quarterback, that's a recipe for success. Now, if you're Parke Heritage, you didn't get your quarterback in that last drive. We saw during halftime the backup quarterback or someone throwing the ball. Andrews Miller was throwing the ball to a couple receivers. He came out early at that halftime to throw some balls. So You don't know if Johnson's going to come back out. If he does, you've got to find a way to protect him. And again, whether that be design quarterback runs, quick screen passes, get the ball out quickly, don't let that pressure get to you. And if Johnson can't return to this game, that significantly diminishes this Parke Heritage offense. We haven't seen Andrews Miller beat quarterback, so this offense is going to take on a whole new shape, and that just leads in the favor of Greencastle.
One of the other positions Johnson had was as kicker, and he's not doing that for the moment. To begin the second half, Noble Johnson sends it away, and George fields it from the 20. Going from right to left, tripped up and brought down at the 35 by Parke Heritage. Decent field position to begin things in the second half for Kiefer Wilson and company.
We got to see him complete a pass in that first half for Kiefer Wilson, and with it being a long throw, they didn't have to throw the ball anymore. So let's see if they're going to throw the ball here on this first drive, if they're going to continue to do the ground and pound game, run some clock off, and make Parke Heritage play to their strength.
That 33-yard connection to George was the only completion Greencastle had in that first half. Wilson going 1 for 3, but Greencastle able to get over 100 yards rushing on the ground in that first half. Wilson had a decent amount of that, 78 in the first 24 minutes of play. He starts things off in this second half with a 7-yard run.
And he doesn't go down on that first contact. We've seen it time and time again, Jared, where he's gotten hit the first time, maybe behind the line of scrimmage or 1 or 2 yards after, and he's still breaking tackles, spinning, and continue to move his legs. So when you mentioned his runs, it's been 5, 6, 6, 5, 7, 30. You know, when you're getting big chunks of yardage like that, that can easily make Coach happy at also winning some games. It's one down in the trenches, and the offensive line's doing a great job in getting the holes for Kiefer Simpson.
A couple of 10-yard rushes in there as well. Wilson, as of right now, 8 carries for 85 yards. Quick equipment issue taken care of, and clock begins to roll yet again. Wilson has everybody split out wide. Now brings McGuire in motion. They effect the jet sweep to him. Wilson over the middle of the field, and he puts it on a dime to Connor George. Nice connection there inside the 25 to the 23. It's a connection of 30 yards. And again, Tiger Cubs working well, have the rhythm offensively.
And Simpson's got a weird foot mechanic when he throws the ball. Not that it's wrong. He just does it a little bit differently. But that time, again, the offensive line has given him great time to throw the ball when he's had the opportunity to throw it. And that time we get another connection to George. So we'll see, again, same formation, this time another design quarterback keep.
40 yards actually on the connection from Wilson to George. There is a penalty marker that came flying in at the line of scrimmage. Looks to be a hold on the offense. Tiger Cubs had 2 defensive holding calls back in the first half. This is the first on the offensive side of the ball, and that'll set them back. 1st and 10, ball moves to the 30-yard line, so spot of the foul, 7-yard penalty. First and 17. Wilson. They've been in the gun all night. McGuire now in the backfield with him on his right. Wilson looking to throw. Has McGuire out in the flat just off of his outstretched arms. Falls incomplete. That'll move Wilson to 2 and 5 passing the football, but for 73 yards.
And that's one of those, that's just a simple toss play. Running back comes from the left side, or I believe it's on the right side, just kind of an out route, running back out, and that's one of those passes that Kiefer needs to have back, and that's right. The running back has to bring that in too, right off his fingertips. The old John Madden quote: "You put your hands on it, you got to catch it as a receiver." So, the 2 for 5 doesn't look good, but that's when you'd like to have back.
McGuire moved from the slot on the left side in jet motion. Wilson gets tripped up. He's only going to pick up 3 yards on the carry, so a 3rd and long upcoming for Greencastle. Wilson backing up his play from last week. He had 19 carries for 68 yards and a score. He's already gone over that, and with less amount of carries, 9 for 89. Wilson gets the play call from Coach Meyer.
We got 7 left in the play clock.
McGuire in motion again. Rolling out to his right. Wilson will throw it at the sticks, off the hands of George. Nice defense coming to defend it for Parke Heritage. Was number 4, that defensive back, Caleb Bassler, 6-foot senior. 4th down situation here. Looks like the field goal unit coming on for the Tiger Cubs.
I was going to ask, on a 4th and 15, do you risk going for it, or are you going to bring in the punting unit? It looks like they're going to punt this football. So this will be our first chance to see Parke Heritage in the second half. Will Johnson be out? I think that's him straight ahead warming up. That's on your right side of your screen. I can't tell the number.
Williamson, the kicker and the punter. So Greencastle, nice punt from Williamson down inside the 5. Wilson's there to touch it at about the 4.5-yard line. Great punt from Ian Williamson, who's 3 for 4 on his PATs. And that's just the first punt so far tonight for Greencastle. Being super efficient offensively. A couple usual players will stay out on defense, including Wilson, McGuire, and George.
I don't think that is Johnson. I think that's Andrews Miller, for quarterback. So Johnson continues to get rest on the sideline. Again, he took a beating in that first half. There was one drive he took 3 straight sacks, and then right before that play, or the half, when they scored, he got hit, and he stayed on the field just a little bit longer than what he would like to. So now we see new quarterback Andrews Miller.
Miller, number 7, has had 2 catches from his wide receiver spot on the first play, getting him involved. An athletic player is Miller. Quarterback keeper for him across the 10 to the 11, pickup of 7.
Second and 4.
Little hurry up now from Parke Heritage. They snap it with 24 on the play clock. Same play this time. Miller bouncing it out wider. Sweep run for him. Nice juke move from Miller, and he spins out of bounds close to the 20-yard line and gets it to the 18. So another 7-yard pickup for Miller.
So with Johnson out, you wonder if this team now becomes one-dimensional. We haven't seen Miller throw a pass. It's been 2 straight quarterback keeps. I don't want to say can he throw the football. I mean, he's a football player. I'm sure he can throw it, but can he throw it as effectively as Johnson? We'll have to see here in the second half if they decide to throw the ball.
Wilson coming in on the blitz from the outside, and he's going to get the tackle, wrapping him up at the legs. Kiefer Wilson bringing down Vance behind the line of scrimmage, and that's been the story whenever it's been a player rushing the football that hasn't been Johnson or Miller. Dakota Vance has had 3 carries, and they've all gone for negative yardage. That time a loss of 3 for Parke Heritage. Miller has Vance moved to his right hip. Miller, sweep right this time. Cuts it back middle of the field. 3 guys there to tackle him. Doesn't quite pick up a first down. It'll have a 3rd and 2 upcoming for Parke Heritage. So the 3 carries that Miller has had, they've gone for 7, 7, and 10. He's got 4 total carries for 28 yards. Big 3rd down coming up here for Parke Heritage. Same play, they'll go the opposite way. Miller wrapped up in the backfield. It'll actually be a loss of a yard. And on the tackle for Greencastle was Ryan Beauchamp.
Well, again, it becomes sort of a one-dimensional offense. We have, again, they're going to continue to run the football with the quarterback draw. We haven't seen them throw, so if you're Greencastle, that's what you want. Now the pressure's on them. You bring the blitz, you bring pressure, and all you have to do is just sell out for the run. That's all. I mean, that's all the defense has to do until we can see if Miller can throw the football, and so far he hasn't thrown it. We'll see if he punts or if they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Miller does take a few steps back. Flags come in as the snap was bad. But a false start called against the offensive line of Parke Heritage. the 3 times that Parke Heritage has lined up now in punt formation, each of the time they've experienced a penalty. 2 delay of games back in the first half, and here they commit a false start that pushes them back and makes it harder for Noble Johnson, who's now back to punt. Good punt from Johnson, end over end. Huff reels it in at the 46. Has some room to work with. Near sideline, Johnson knocks him out of bounds at the 32. Great return from Greencastle, trying to make this a 2-score ball game.
And again, you can expect just some wear the clock down, run that clock, and just some run plays by the quarterback, Kiefer Wilson. He's had a great game so far. Here's that replay of that punt return. You mentioned it was a great punt return. Good blocking there from the special teams of Greencastle, and again, sets him up in great field position inside Parke Heritage 35-yard line, make it, I think, the 32.
It is, in fact, the 32, as see the referees getting into position. We get the signal. 7:03 is where this drive starts for the Tiger Cubs. McGuire, the man in motion. It's a give up the middle to Welker, and he's got a hole, but he's got a man dragging him down at his right leg. Decent pickup on 1st down and 10. Just the 2nd carry tonight for Peyton Welker, good for 9 yards.
And the hole in that was pretty good. It was a pretty good-sized hole, and, I mean, you mentioned the 2nd carry for the running back / fullback. Did a nice job there getting 9 on that play. And, again, you just see that clock continue to tick down. If you're Greencastle, you're in the driver's seat right now. Just got to play safe and don't turn the ball over.
Same exact play, and it works just as good. Welker picks up the 1st down, gets it to the 16-yard line. Back-to-back plays, the give to the big sophomore running back. That left side of the offensive line, Jason Sparks at left tackle, and Jackson Buse at the left guard position. That offensive line has been creating the holes for those backs, including Wilson, McGuire, and Welker. Levi Ricketts set to snap it back to Wilson. Same exact play, except Kiefer Wilson will keep it this time. Getting towards the edge. Awkward landing with his legs, but he does get it inside the 10-yard line. And Greencastle with a chance here to have a 1st and goal situation inside the 7. But right now they'll have it 2nd and 1 from the 9.
First, 2nd down, Cubs, inside the 10.
Wilson has McGuire and Welker back there with him. It's a give to McGuire. Welker has the lead back. And Parke Heritage there to limit the yardage pickup, but it is enough for a 1st down, and this is great positioning here for Greencastle. 1st and goal with just 4 yards left to go.
I wish I could say expect a pass, but it's going to be a run play with either Kiefer Wilson, or Jacob McGuire. They're just the run and pound game. That's all Greencastle has to do. They're going to motion McGuire to the right side.
Wilson will throw it out, and it's intercepted! Intercepted by Parke Heritage. It's Anthony Wood.
Wow.
And he's going to take it all the way back. 96-yard interception. And Parke Heritage retakes the lead.
What a jinx. I said I wish they would throw the football. I was 99% sure they were going to run the ball there, and Greencastle surprisingly throws it at the 4-yard line with the man in motion and just the wrong read. But you know, if you're Greencastle, you're still not discouraged. I mean, you can still run the ball. You've been able to move against this defense. Just one of the bad calls, maybe the only bad call that Greencastle's had so far in this game. Wow.
Unbelievable sequence there. I think it was that jinx. You jinxed him, CJ. It's
like the broadcaster's jinx in basketball. You say the guy's perfect from the free throw line, then he misses the free throw. You know, this is one of the same things. Not going to throw the football, and then they throw. So I've just been told I've been fired. So Jared,
producer Jerry says,
"Yeah,
you're
Jared,
gone.
This game's all you.
All
I will see you back in the studio."
All right, yep. I'll see you Never after tonight, I guess.
Guess I'll never see you.
Parke Heritage will go for 2. Miller takes the snap, but a flag comes in. False start before the play gets off. A 96-yard interception return for Anthony Wood. They motioned out McGuire. They did that 4 or 5 separate times on that drive, and all those plays were runs. And then they switched things up, and Wood read it all the way. After the false start now, Parke Heritage has the football back at the 8-yard line, still trying to go for 2 and make it a 3-point game. That's the 5th lead change of this ball game as well. Play clock starts running down. Parke Heritage doesn't know what they're trying to do, but referees do step in. They're calling officials timeout, so Coach Moore doesn't have to burn a timeout, it appears.
Like we have an official timeout for an equipment malfunction.
Equipment issue with the offensive line. The head referee taking care of it for the moment. Miller with some of his skill guys, Vance and Noble Johnson. Caleb Bassler there. All of those guys seniors for this Parke Heritage squad. 3-1 on the season, 2-0 in Wabash River Conference play. Trying to get 2 wins in a row. Miller is going to have to keep it himself. Gets a block on the edge, reaches out, and he does get the goal line.
I think it was a false
For the
start.
moment, it's good, but there is a flag on the far side.
I thought I saw the running back kind of go forward just a little bit before that ball was snapped. Yep, false start.
Illegal formation, actually, and that flag came in right at the snap. Somebody not lined up right for Parke Heritage, so we'll try again. Attempt number 3 for 2 points coming up.
And it looked like he wanted to throw the ball, did Miller, but the pressure, again, got back in the backfield. There we go. I think they're changing it to a false start. So, and I believe it was the running back there. He jumped a little bit before that ball was snapped, and this back ref here threw that flag. So now we'll do the 2-point conversion back from about the 15-yard line. We'll see if he throws the ball here.
Miller will look to throw. 2 receivers both sides. He goes towards his right into the end zone, and George does pick it off. So no points picked up there by Parke Heritage, but they do regain the lead. 28-27 here at Greencastle High School. IndianaSRN excited for the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. First game coming up October 2nd right here on IndianaSRN as Mount St. Joseph will travel to Bluffton. The Heartland game of the week coming up October 2nd right here on IndianaSRN. Back at Greencastle High School and this brand new beautiful football stadium that they have built. Brand new football turf. They were able to break it in 2 weeks ago in a win over West Vigo. But right now, the Tiger Cubs with this kickoff set to give them the football back, trailing by 1 point after the jaw-dropping interception from Anthony Wood. He went 96 yards to the house. Robert L. Harbison Stadium here at Greencastle High School. George picks up the squiggling kick. A lot of Wolves defenders there to bring him down as he was able to reach the 25-yard line. Another look here at this 2-point attempt that Parke Heritage is trying to get. Just a one-step drop heave. Miller trying to get it to Anthony Wood, who had the pick six. This drive will begin at the 25 for Greencastle. Wilson back out there. He's got McGuire and Welker in the backfield with him. 3 receivers out wide. Direct give up the middle. Welker isn't going to get much as we go back to this pick six on 1st and goal.
I mean, shocking throw. A good read there by the cornerback. If you want to say a late throw by Wilson, I mean, I would agree with you on that, but just at the 4-yard line, you don't expect maybe a throw. You know, it reminds me of the NFL pass with Wilson and the Patriots. You throw on the
Super Bowl.
You throw on the yard line when you got to. Your running game's been working well so long all game. Continue to do that.
Wilson, corner route, and just overthrowing Connor George. Pretty nice ball there from Wilson, but just too much on it. Looking for Connor George, who has the only 2 catches tonight so far for Greencastle.
And if I'm not mistaken, Wilson's 2 for 8.
He's 2 for 8 now.
Yep. So, I mean, I like him throwing the ball more. I like him not just being a running quarterback where defenses can just, you know, okay, if he has the ball, he's going to run. Let's see what he can do in the pocket. But, again, he came into today's game with only a 47% completion rating. Now that's going to go down if it were to end today. So, just like to see him maybe get some completions, maybe at the line of scrimmage. A little past that, just some easy completions, get that percentage up.
Wolves bring the blitz. And Wood again. Anthony Wood with back-to-back interceptions. Trying to take this one back as well. Down the sideline, has a block with Miller.
Wow.
Is he in? No signal yet. There it is. 2 consecutive pick sixes for number 22 of Parke Heritage, Anthony Wood. My, oh my.
I said I'd like to see him throw the ball more, and it's been two interceptions. That one, I mean, he had pressure. It wasn't necessarily a bad throw, and I won't even say it was late. It was a decent throw just behind the receiver, and Wood is just playing a great defensive game so far. He's easily jumped into the conversation of player of the game for that, but you know, and if you're Parke Heritage, that's good too, because now, you know, you can prove that you can win without your starting quarterback who's out with an injury, it seems like.
Timeout on the field called by Parke Heritage. Back in a moment for the 2-point conversion.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. You'll be notified of every game we have throughout the week, and there's so much for you. We had volleyball and soccer earlier this week, and now 5 games of Friday Night Football on the family of networks, IndianaSRN. This game here keeps getting crazier, and trying to make it a 2-possession game is Parke Heritage, and it looks like they're going to be able to do just that as Miller plows his way forward across the goal line to make it a 9-point lead now for the Parke Heritage Wolves. 36-27 is our score. Anthony Wood has 3 total touchdowns now, and on back-to-back possessions, he takes interceptions back to the house. The previous one, 96 yards. This past one, 38. Quite the game so far tonight for Anthony Wood, and like you said, CJ, he's put himself into that category of player of the game.
I would say at this point you have to give it to him with 2 pick sixes. you've given your team 14 points. And again, this is all without your starting quarterback, Christian Johnson, who we have not seen on the sideline. So I mean, obviously you're not supposed to assume with any injuries or anything, but we haven't seen him since late in the second quarter. Hasn't been on the field since. So I don't think we'll see him for the rest of the game. But again, if you're Parke Heritage, you can do that quarterback run, that quarterback draw, because you've got a 9-point lead. Your defense has played well the last 2 possessions. But if you're Greencastle right now, I know you don't. Your last 3 throws have led to 2 pick sixes. I wouldn't be discouraged of throwing the ball anymore, especially with yourself down 9. I mean, you can't run the ball every single play. So if you're Kiefer Wilson, you just have to make some better decisions. You feel that pressure, and you don't want to throw a turnover, get rid of the ball, or use your legs. That's what's gotten you here so far and gave you the lead going into halftime.
With Christian Johnson being out, the quarterback for Parke Heritage, Miller having to step in, kind of find themselves out of a usual offensive sync, but the defense has stepped up, giving them the last 14 points. Peyton Welker on the return. Number 40 gets it to the 40-yard line, and Greencastle now back out on offense following 2 consecutive picks thrown by Kiefer Wilson.
Third quarter, South Putnam 14, Eastern Hancock 0.
Got a quick score update for you. South Putnam, not too far from Greencastle, on the road at Eastern Hancock, leading 14-0. We'll try to get some more score updates for you here soon. In fact, CJ, you look like you're getting some from some of our colleagues from other games.
We got Traders Point 34-0 over Frontier. That's the start of the 4th. Heritage leads Cecina 20-0. That's late in the 3rd quarter, early 4th.
Here's Jacob McGuire down the far sideline. He's got a couple guys to beat, and they will drag him down from behind. But a big-time run picked up there for Greencastle, and Jacob McGuire, the longest play offensively for them in this ballgame tonight.
And that's what you need, especially from a guy not your quarterback. Here's that play again. They've ran the simple sweep play multiple times this game. And that time, Jacob McGuire, you see that speed he has. That's the speed you want to see in the backfield out of your running backs. You don't want it to be in the hands of Kiefer Wilson the entire time running the football. Now McGuire gives him that different dimension that this backfield desperately needed.
45 yards on the carry for Jacob McGuire, their longest play offensively. Wilson on the keep. Can he get to the end zone? Makes a cut, and he will. Kiefer Wilson's 2nd touchdown run of the night. And just like that, Greencastle is able to answer. Points are being put up on the board.
I will tell you, this is a great job by Greencastle with the philosophy, forget the last play. Wilson had an interception last play. He said, okay, let's regroup. Had a nice play for McGuire, and then he got the job done and made up for himself with a touchdown run there. Now they're again back down 3, could possibly be 2 with this extra point.
Williamson, 3 for 4 in the PAT category. Kick is up. It looks good. And it is. Plenty of leg for the freshman kicker. Back to a 2-point game. 2:34 left to go in this 3rd quarter.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Make sure you hit that red subscribe button on YouTube. You may be watching this game right now on YouTube. If you are, thanks so much. Leave us a comment. Reach out to us. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. 70 total points scored between these two teams. Who would have thought that? Greencastle coming into this one just averaging 18. Meanwhile, Parke Heritage at 31. And both teams have eclipsed that 31-point mark. And we still have a whole quarter and some change left to go.
Yeah, a guy walked in the press box told and said, "Did you take the over?" I told him I took the under. I wasn't expecting a high-scoring game like this, but I would have lost all my money.
Now, you told him you don't bet on high school sports.
Yeah.
That's what you told him.
I can't do that either, so.
Return from Parke Heritage. They're shy of the 30 to the 29. Back at this touchdown from Wilson.
Again, we've seen this play, this simple quarterback draw, but it's the vision that Kiefer Wilson has that kind of separates him from a lot of dual quarterbacks. You've seen him get hit the first time, maybe behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage, but he tends to break that tackle over and over again and somehow finds a way to get 5, 6, 7 yards. That time, the vision led him. He was going left. Blockers went left. He had found an opening to the right side, off the right guard and right tackle, found a way to scamper into the end zone, brings his team back to within 2.
Wilson, 11 carries, 110 total yards rushing. That's good for 10 yards each attempt. Parke Heritage back out on offense with Miller still the quarterback. They've been doing this a lot. Direct keep for Miller down the far sideline, tiptoeing his way before getting bumped out of bounds. Appears to be around a 16-yard pickup on 1st and 10 for Parke Heritage.
So the one throw we've seen from Miller was an interception on a 2-point conversion, albeit it wasn't, in a game setting like this where we want to see him throw, but interested to see if we'll see him throw. And another flag. That running back, I think it's been Noble Johnson. It's just been going a little bit quicker than the snap is coming. He had that penalty for the 2-point conversion, and now he has another one here. So Johnson's got to make sure he's just not shooting his team in the foot here with these penalties.
Noble trying to get a head start there. That's the 4th false start committed in this 3rd quarter alone by the Wolves. They'll get backed up to the 38-yard line. Dakota Vance is back into the backfield as Noble Johnson, the lone receiver up top. 2 receivers near side. It's Bassler and Wood who's in the slot. Johnson hits to Johnson, and it's on the ground. It's an incomplete pass. Fans getting antsy there thinking
that technically is a pass if
that's right.
The quarterback gets it and throws it in front, but that's 2 times Johnson could have cost his team yards and possession with two plays like that. So you're fortunate that is you see the replay there. The chemistry just wasn't there on that pass, but if you're Noble Johnson, got to get your head in the game. That's 2 times you could have cost your team valuable yards.
Luckily, it is incomplete. The first pass attempt going by the rulebook for Miller. Wilson on the pressure, whips it down the sideline, and what a snag.
Did he get that?
By Noble Johnson. They say he's in.
Ooh.
Gets at least 1 foot down. And what a great job there by Noble, having that sideline awareness and getting that 1 foot in.
I literally say something, and then they just prove me wrong with the next play. We get to see the arm from Miller. We get to see a great catch and redemption there from Noble Johnson. Now they're all the way down inside Greencastle territory at the 30.
It's 32 yards on the connection, the 9th reception tonight for number 25 in white. He's the lead blocker for Miller, who gets the ball close to the 20-yard line. 9 yards as we're closing in on 2 minutes left to go in this 3rd quarter.
And that was a beautiful throw from Miller, going back to that last play, and a great catch. And again, we've seen the quarterback draw with Noble Johnson being the lead blocker. So I mentioned earlier about how Parke Heritage can just kind of maybe run the ball now, waste some clock. They're kind of in the Greencastle territory. They don't really waste time. They like to get to the line of scrimmage, run that next play. Another blitz coming from Greencastle.
Parke Heritage able to pick it up as Miller has another first down.
Inside the 15.
7 yards on that pickup. Parke Heritage has themselves at the 14-yard line. Yeah, Miller really kind of answering that question if he can sling it, and he sure enough did. He put it on a rope and only in the spot where Noble could get it.
Like I said, I said I want to see Noble's head back in the game. I want to see Miller throw. On one play, they did both and told me to be quiet. So, I mean, that's what you want to see from your backup quarterback. Can you throw the football? We know you can run. We know you can use your legs. You got the big body at 6'2". We want to see if you can throw.
Another blitz coming up the middle, and Miller's able to bounce outside of it. Has his wide receivers Blocking out in front, a flag comes in, looks to be a hold. Bassler in the area was the receiver blocking, may have gotten a little too much jersey.
Holding is the call against the Wolves.
It is going to be a hold. That's the 8th total penalty called against Parke Heritage, something we haven't talked about a lot, although there have been a lot of false starts in this quarter. Throughout 3 quarters of play, Parke Heritage, probably too many penalties for Coach Miller's liking. Hold sets them back to the 20. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Now brings up 1st and 16 for Miller. Noble Johnson to his left. Miller, another sweep going left this time. Has the edge and wrapped up inside the 10. Miller got to the 9-yard line. 12 yards on the carry. And the last 4 carries from Miller, great blocking up front from his offensive line. He's been able to pick up 46 yards rushing.
And again, I believe I know they started in their own territory of this possession, and they've done a nice job moving the ball. Not only that, but wasting some time off the clock, keeping this Greencastle defense on the field. It gives that offense some rest for Greencastle, but now going into the 4th quarter down, that needs some urgency.
Noble Johnson takes the snap this time with Miller as his lead block, fighting his way into the end zone. Noble Johnson extends the lead for Parke Heritage, and for the moment will lead by 8 points.
And if I'm correct, that's his 2nd rushing touchdown, but again, from our vantage point, it didn't look like he was going to make that corner. You see him limping just a little. Oh, he has his shoe off. But again, just great job, great field vision from Noble Johnson, and did a nice job making up for the 2 bad plays he had on the same drive with a penalty and then a would have been fumble if it wasn't for a pass. Nice shot with a catch and then a touchdown run.
This time Miller back at the quarterback position will go straight up the middle and is hit behind the line of scrimmage. He dove forward but was short of the goal line. 8-point lead, 42-34, under a minute left to go in this 3rd quarter from Greencastle.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Packed house tonight here at Greencastle High School in Putnam County. Right now the Wolves have been answering every call that Greencastle has been given to them.
Yep.
In that 1st quarter, it was some defensive performances that Greencastle was able to have and kind of find themselves with a lot of momentum, kept that first half close. In fact, they were leading at the half 27-22. But Parke Heritage resilient even without Christian Johnson being in the game at quarterback.
I mean, if you take away those 2 pick sixes and maybe just give him 1, this is a tie ball game right now at 34 apiece. So, again, if you're Greencastle, you can't be discouraged. You know what your offense can do. You can move against this Parke Heritage defense. Your defense has played well. But now you know that the quarterback can throw when he wants to, but they're going to be running the ball mostly. Your defense has to set up for that.
Simple squib kick is down at the 35 by Greencastle. Another look at this touchdown scamper by Noble Johnson.
Again, you see him once he makes that turn there. It just doesn't look like he has the room, but he keeps those feet moving, and he just finds a way to get the end zone. You like players like that who just have a nose and a knack to find the end zone. That's Noble Johnson for you. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, and he just finds a way to get in the end zone and extend the lead for Parke Heritage to 8.
He scored that 1st touchdown back in the 2nd quarter, and that gives him his Second score here tonight. Everybody out wide for Greencastle. Now McGuire comes in motion. They fake the jet sweep to him. Wilson has blockers out in front, staying on his feet across midfield, won't go down, and nearly escapes it. Kiefer Wilson, a magician with his feet, gets to the 45 of Parke Heritage.
What I tell you, it's like that first hit that Kiefer Wilson takes. He doesn't seem to mind that first hit. I mean, I think he legit broke maybe 5 or 6 tackles in that one drive, and he almost broke that last one to maybe have a 65-yard touchdown run, and that really would have broken open this game, and the crowd would have gone wild as we're nearing the end of this third quarter.
Clock continues to wind, but Greencastle will opt to run another play. This time they do give it to McGuire on the jet sweep. A lot of speed out in space, and McGuire is finally wrestled down to the 21-yard line, 24 yards on the pickup. We now enter the fourth and final quarter from Robert L. Harbison Stadium. Greencastle driving, threatening to score again, down 42-34 on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
The final 12 minutes of this one coming to you from Greencastle, Indiana on IndianaSRN and TigerCubs.tv. Along with CJ Benberry, I'm Jarrett Lewis. An exciting affair here tonight, the highest scoring game that Greencastle has had this season. A team that's only averaging 18 points per contest and a little bit over 250 yards of offense per game. But they have, in essence, doubled some of those statistics here tonight. This end-around return was a touchdown in the first quarter. Trying it again, George loses it out of bounds, but did step out at the 5-yard line. Nice pickup there. Twice they've ran it, and twice it's picked up chunk yardage.
It was close to being a block in the back. You saw that shove late down at the bottom of your screen. I wasn't sure if they were going to call that or not, but George has some good speed for the size that he is. And right now, again, we mentioned this Greencastle offense can move this Parke Heritage defense, so it's going to come down to the defense. If they can get a stop and get the ball back and just run the clock with Wilson, they'll be have a great opportunity to win this game.
It won't be Wilson this time. It'll be McGuire, and he is hit up immediately in the backfield. Noble Johnson was back there for Parke Heritage, as well as Jared Graves.
Loss of 2, second down, 7.
McGuire loses 2. His last 2 carries were 45 yards and 24. 88 yards for him here tonight. Between him and Wilson, they have 218. Here is Wilson. Nice blocking up front. Easy touchdown going in for number 28, Kiefer Wilson. That's his 3rd score of this ball game. And Greencastle will not be denied. They will not go away.
And now the question is, do you go for 2 here? 11-11 to go here in the 4th. Make your wish. Do you go for 2 or do you kick the field goal, be down 1, and trust that defense?
You see that offense still out there.
Looks like they're going to go for it. And I don't want to say expect a quarterback run here because I said that last time you threw the ball.
Just don't say anything, CJ.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens.
Okay.
All right. No more
mouth
jinxes.
Mouth zipped.
McGuire goes in motion. Wilson looking to throw, and he's going to be brought down into the backfield on the tackle for Parke Heritage. Number 13 in white taking him down.
Here's that touchdown run here for Greencastle as they're down 2 now, 42-40. Another quarterback design run here for Kiefer Wilson. You see him get to the edge, and again, that vision. Once he gets a defender going to his left, he's going to cut back to his left and then go up the field as that hole opened up for him. You mentioned, Jared, that this Greencastle offense and this Greencastle team just won't go away. And again, this Parke Heritage team is struggling without their starting quarterback, Christian Johnson, who's been out since late in the second quarter. So it's going to be up to Andrees Miller. We saw him throw the ball on a rope down the line for Noble Robinson, Johnson.
There you go. Third time's the charm.
Noble Johnson, and he scored his second rushing touchdown on that drive. So look for those two guys to get the ball here on this drive, and maybe Parke Heritage takes a page out of Greencastle's book, run the clock, run the ball, and try to get this clock down to minimal time when Greencastle gets the ball back.
2-point conversion ends up being no good for Greencastle, so they trail it by 2. Noble Johnson, such a versatile man offensively. The leading receiver came into this game with 27 receptions and 294 yards. On the ground, 41 carries for 138, 7 total touchdowns, and he's got 2 more tonight. Williamson kicks things off. 11-11 left to go. Anthony Wood tracks back to retrieve the kick. Starts on the left side of the field and now takes it on the return right, set up by Parke Heritage, and brings things out to the 34-yard line. Greencastle cheerleaders putting in the jumping jacks. They got 40 of them to do. And I think normally they do the push-ups, but 40 push-ups would be an awful lot for anybody.
I don't know if I can do 40 push-ups consecutively. I'm sure if you gave me an incentive, I probably could turn out 40, but I think you mentioned they only average
18
points a game, so
here's Miller. He won't go down. The first initial hit he's able to bounce off of and falls down at the 42, around the 43. No, he's at the 42, so he's going to be a yard short of the first down. Andrees Miller on the ground, 11 carries for 83 yards. Had 2 catches. That's where he usually plays, is that wide receiver spot. Bobbles the snap. Hit in the backfield. Miller lucky to get back on it.
You go from a 2nd and 1 to now looks like a 3rd and maybe 6, 3rd and 7. Costly fumble there from your backup quarterback. So now, interesting play call here. Do you go to the air here, or do you use your legs, which is kind of giving you, some good yardage with your backup quarterback.
Third and 6 is what they'll call it. 2 receivers near side for Miller.
Blitz coming again.
Same usual sweep. And Greencastle was ready for it. A flag does come in the back from the head referee, and looks like the football may have came out as well.
There was a hold, yep, in that play. I'm assuming it's going to be declined since you stopped him on 3rd down.
It'll bring up a 4th and 4 or 5. I think Miller was able to get 1 yard out of the carry. But no, they will opt to accept the penalty, and that'll back them up.
So 3rd down again.
It's the 9th penalty as a team called on Parke Heritage. 3 of them have been in the holding category.
I might have been more inclined to just decline that penalty and make it a 4th down. You do make it a 3rd and long, but again, when they made a 4th and 45 play earlier in this game, so you might want to just take that and maybe get the field position and stop them.
It does push him back. 3rd and 16. Miller unwinds it down the sideline. Jump ball, George and Johnson there. George slipped as the ball got there.
And that's where you miss your starting quarterback there. The starting quarterback could have put that on a dime and led him a little bit farther. Miller doesn't have the arm that Johnson does, so your passing game, all of your players take a little bit of a hit unless you're going to be using your legs. So now a 4th and 16. Looks to be the punting unit is going to do the job. So you're Greencastle, you did what you wanted to do. You got the stop on defense. Now you get the ball back on offense. Do you continue to push the pressure, get the ball up, or do you score quickly and get the ball back to Parke Heritage?
Huff muffs the punt, tackled from behind. Nice gunner play there by Caleb Bassler, number 4. And he gets the tackle. Nice spiraling punt as well from Johnson. Sends Greencastle to start things up at the 36.
I really am impressed by Kiefer Wilson, how he's responded to those 2 interceptions, Jared. After the second interception, he led a drive in 2 plays, put 6 on the board. Then the next drive, he drove his team down the field once again, pushed into the end zone for his 3rd rushing touchdown, I believe. So that mentality of, okay, I made 1 bad play, I can't let that affect my next play. He's done a good job of that. And don't forget, he's been playing defense as well, so he's got to be exhausted. He's played a great game so far today.
The man does it all. This time he'll give to Welker up the middle. Peyton Welker, 4-yard carry on first down.
Number 25.
Just the 4th carry as well for Welker. He's got 22 yards. His teammates, McGuire, 8 for 88. And Wilson has 13 carries for 138 yards. Everybody split out wide. Welker as a wingback on the right side of the tackle. McGuire the motion man. And now Wilson will go that way. Johnson stands him up right at the first down marker.
I think they're going to give it to him from where they mark it. It should be a first down. Yep.
That is a first down. Wilson gets enough. 7 on the carry. He's got 145 yards rushing. Man slow to get up from Parke Heritage was Keon Johnson, one of the focal points of that defensive line. But he is up, ready to go. He's got Braden Malicote to his left. Those 2 guys over the guards. The give is up the middle. In between the 2 defenders, McGuire gets a first down. 13-yard pickup straight up the middle for number 9.
You mentioned how the ball is now, or the momentum, and now the pressure. The pressure is on Parke Heritage. The momentum's on Greencastle's side. You got 8 minutes left to go, and Greencastle known for running the ball. You see them taking their time when they get to the line of scrimmage. Play clock's already down to 20. Expect that to get under 10 before this ball's even snapped. So you're wasting all that time on the clock. You're running the football. You're moving the ball methodically down the field. Your objective here is to score and leave as little time as you can on the clock for Parke Heritage.
McGuire, man in motion again, and Wilson takes a couple of hits, falling forward for 3 yards, but there's a penalty marker down on the far sideline. This one may be going against Greencastle. The Tiger Cubs have been slightly cleaner in the penalty department, but that's their 6th one called here tonight.
And that's not ideal, but
and 4 of those have been holding.
It's not an ideal penalty. It's a 1st and 20 now, but again, you've got 4 plays to try to get back to the 30-yard line of Parke Heritage.
Wilson has McGuire in the backfield to his left. Wilson will keep it. Sweep towards the outside. Nice blocking by some of his receivers out there in front, including Grendel Bennon. Decent pickup on first down to get close to the line of scrimmage. 7 yards for Wilson.
Gain of 7, 2nd down, 13.
The whole Tiger Cub offense checking out the sideline, getting this next play from Coach Mike Meyer. Clock continues to wind, 6:45. Everybody split out. McGuire again, jet sweep. They'll give it to him. Cuts back towards the middle of the field, inside the hash marks. Across the 42, the 37. That's 7 yards for McGuire, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 7. Greencastle putting themselves in a position, 2 plays to try to pick up the first down.
You had a 1st and 20, and now you're down to a 3rd and 7, so 13 yards on 2 plays. That's good. Clock management and good yardage gained for Greencastle. Now a manageable 3rd and 7 here. You got 6 minutes to go. You get this first down. You're really putting that pressure on the Parke Heritage defense.
Greencastle continuing to bring McGuire in motion, and Wilson was able to shake the first 2 guys, but the 3rd guy coming in is able to bring him down short of the line again. It'll bring up 4th and 2 for the Tiger Cubs.
And I'm thinking at this point you have to go for it.
Yeah, this close.
4th and 2, yeah, you're down 2.
If you don't get it, you still have Parke Heritage well on their side of the field. And plenty of time left to go. Greencastle has 3 timeouts. Parke Heritage has 2. What does Coach Meyer go with here on 4th down and 2?
It's in the hands of number 28.
Parke Heritage stacks the box. They got 5 down linemen. Wilson doesn't like what he's got. He's going to take a timeout. 4th down and 2 upcoming for Greencastle on TigerCubs.tv.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
All right, CJ, who are you going with here? 4th and 2. Wilson appears to be the lone man in the backfield before this play gets going.
Well, so he's had this. We've seen this formation before. Watch McGuire. He's there in the slot, top of your screen. Watch him be in motion from left to right. Nope, quarterback
Wilson will
sneak.
just keep it. They set the edge on that left side, and Wilson has plenty inside the 20 to the 17 on 4th and 2. Wilson gets 15 yards. He's over 170 on the ground.
I really wish my mind was like Tony Romo's. He seems to never miss a play on those football calls. But, Wilson was the right choice to have. He's had a great game so far on the ground. And again, first down, you see them waiting to get that play call, keep the clock moving down. Ideally, you want to get this ball maybe in the 2-minute range, under 2 minutes. Give that back to Parke Heritage, and then that really puts the pressure on Miller to throw that ball.
McGuire off tackle to the right side. Decent pickup. 5 yards for McGuire. He's over 110, 113 to be exact.
So
if you can get almost 400 yards from your quarterback and running back, you would, if I told you that, you would think that they won the game. Instead, they find themselves down 2 here with all that rushing yardage. So, again, great field position, great opportunity here for Greencastle. They're in no rush at all.
Wilson takes the snap with 10 on the play clock. 4 minutes left to go. Pyle gets pushed forward for another first down for the Tiger Cubs. Wilson has a 7-yard pickup there.
If you're Coach Brian Moore, Jared, are you going to let them score here so you can get the ball back in the last 3 minutes and some change, or are you still hoping that this defense can maybe force a turnover and get the ball back and then run the clock down?
You don't mind Greencastle scoring on the next 2 plays. I think that gives enough time for Parke Heritage to work with. I think anything around 2 minutes would be enough for the Wolves, but we'll see. Here's Wilson. He'll go off tackle. And he's brought down at the 2. That was 4 yards on the gain.
So the next time they snap the ball, usually, again, it's under about 10.
But you're right, CJ. They may, Parke Heritage may opt to let them score
at this point because they're going to snap the ball.
That's not something really that's seen or talked about a lot in high school ball, but it is a serious topic of discussion. Giving yourself enough time if you're Parke Heritage offensively, and you do also have 2 timeouts to work with.
It's going to be close to 2:43 when they snap this ball, so 2:46.
And Wilson takes a hit, but he bounces right off of it into the end zone. Kiefer Wilson is unstoppable. His 4th rushing touchdown here tonight, and it comes at a crucial part in this ball game late in the 4th quarter.
So, again, you let them score. If they kick the extra point here, it makes it 47-42. You're down 5. Now the pressure and the ball is going to be in the hands of Andrews Miller. Do you continue to do quarterback runs, or do you let it air out and see that arm of Andrews Miller? We've seen him throw a nice ball down the sideline to Noble Johnson.
Kick is up from Williamson, and it is good. The score now, 47-42, a 5-point ball game. We'll keep things right here as we just have 2:42 left to play in this one. How about 89 combined points?
Yeah.
That's impressive between 2 of these clubs, and 2 clubs who don't necessarily score a lot. Parke Heritage averages 30 a game through 4 games, which is decent. But to see both teams put up 40-plus is quite something to see here tonight in Greencastle.
Here's that 4th rushing touchdown by Wilson again, just following his blockers, using his size to get into the end zone. Again, so now it's 47-42. You're down 5. You're Parke Heritage. You're going to get the ball, I would assume, inside the 30 to the 40-yard line. You've had some good returns here for Parke Heritage, so you're going to have to go 60 yards to try to get in the end zone to win this game. And it's going to be in the hands of Andrews Miller and Noble Johnson. Look for those 2 guys to really get the ball and try to get them the lead. But the question still remains, do you throw the ball or do you continue to run? You have those 2 timeouts, as you mentioned, but those can only get you so far. You're not in any rush per se. You still have the time is still on your side with the ball, so it's not like you need to air it out and try to get big chunks of yardage, but there has to be some sense of urgency if you're going to run the ball, especially the first couple plays. You've got to get that ball at least past midfield with probably 2 minutes, 1:45. I like to see it past midfield to give them a good shot.
Parke Heritage, plenty of time left in this one, 2:42 and 2 timeouts. The Tiger Cubs trying to bounce back from their loss last week at South Putnam when they lost just 19-13, stumbling at the 20 as Anthony Wood. So it'll be 80 yards to go for Parke Heritage to try and take the lead and perhaps win this ball game.
And Wood a little slow to get up. He's had 2 pick sixes in this game, one 96 yards and the other one about 35 to 40 yards. So he's going to stay on the field. And it's going to be in the hands again of Andrews Miller.
Christian Johnson already out. Wood limping just a little bit as he goes to that slot position. The 6th ranked team in Class 1A. With Greencastle applying the pressure. Playing one of the best, if not the best games they've played so far all season here. We're in week 5.
Blitz again from Wilson off the right.
Miller gets it out quickly to Noble Johnson in the flat. Swim move by Johnson. He picks up a first down on the first play of this drive. 12 yards between Miller and Noble Johnson, and that's the 10th catch tonight for Noble Johnson.
But you see how when that blitz came here that he got the ball out quickly. That way your quarterback's not taking all these beatings like Christian Johnson did. He recognized the blitz coming from his left. You're right, looking at the screen. He saw us coming from that side through to the opposite side. Found his teammate Noble Johnson. You see him limping here coming to the bottom of your screen. So him and Wood both banged up here. But this is where players step up, especially under 2 minutes here to try to win game. Pressure again from Wilson.
Getting close to that 2-minute mark. Miller going away from that blitzing side that Wilson came from, and he turns around and around, gets spun, but picks up a decent gain of 8 yards. Coach Moore telling Miller to go up and spike it.
So I said by 2 minutes, minute 45, I'd like to see you at the 50-yard line. They're at the 41. We'll see if there's a big play here or a spike.
Just running a play, and Miller, this time Wilson got to him. Into the backfield, a loss of 2. As the clock continues to wind, it's at a minute and a half before the referees stop it here for an injured player.
And Wilson is really timing that jump off the right side. He's been, the last 2 times he's been close to an offsides, but he's timed it just right. And again, you like to see maybe the quarterback kind of give a dummy count to try to get him offsides, maybe get a free 5 yards. That'll at least back him off from blitzing maybe the next time or two. So if Greencastle can continue to put this pressure on Parke Heritage, you know, they don't have an opportunity to throw the ball deep if you bring that pressure because they're getting to the backfield.
Injured player down for Parke Heritage. And with the help of some of the trainers, he gets back up. Round of applause from both sides. Great turnout for both of these schools. Parke Heritage packing their bleachers on the opposite side. And in the spirit of their cancer night here tonight, the student section and a few other of the Greencastle faithful wearing some yellow. Pediatric Cancer Awareness Night for them. What a great turnout they have here in just their second game on their brand new turf facility. That injured player looked to be Michael Tidwell of Parke Heritage, but he is up and looks to be okay. Back out onto the field comes Parke Heritage.
I know you heard the feet stomping here at Greencastle. We'll see if they can get that again here for 2nd and 4. As you do, the student section's on their feet, fans rising, trying to get a big W here.
This time Johnson takes the snap. He's going to get to the line to gain, but will it be enough? He's right at the sticks. There is a flag as well. And referee calling a holding call. Looks like one of the referees had signaled something else, but that is the official call. Spot foul, takes the football back to the 30-yard line. Couple of holdings in this ballgame. Parke Heritage has committed 4 of those penalties. They have 10 tonight.
3rd and 13 now. There's really no more running. A minute 26, you've got to get some chunks of yardage, so you've got to throw the ball. We'll see if we see that from Miller.
Run.
Yep.
Clock is running. Miller takes the snap with 1:15. Everybody split out wide. Looking to pass. Now he's going to scramble. Miller cuts back inside. Opts not to get out of bounds, but does pick up the first down, so the clock will stop as the chains begin to move.
So you need about 40 or 52 yards, excuse me, and they push it back. So 54 yards, and now it looks like a official's timeout, which is good for Parke Heritage. I would huddle up here, get a play caller. If you already know the play, get to the line. So then once that clock starts, you run that play. You don't have much time left to waste. So once the official gets that word, now that play should have been gone by now.
Yeah, they got a minute, and they will spike it. So that'll stop the clock, although a couple valuable seconds ticking off from Parke Heritage. They couldn't decide if they wanted to spike it while they were dealing with the equipment issue. And so the clock started winding. Referee signaled for it to go at a minute 03, and now the clock's down to 57.
Yeah, you waste 6 seconds there. Again, that should have been a play. You look to head coach during the equipment timeout. What are we doing? You want to spike the ball. Once that hand goes to the clock, the ball should be snapped and spike that ball. 6 less seconds you now have. Play clock down to 7.
Greencastle fans getting into it. 2nd and 10. Miller Drops the football. Tackled in the backfield. Couple players there for Greencastle to bring him down in a big-time loss. Brighton Bodges back there, one of the guys, number 65 on the defensive line. And also Ethan Ham brought the pressure. Miller, the last spot you want to make a mistake like that.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's like the second or third time he's wanted to throw the ball and it's just slipped out of his hand. I'm not sure if his hand is wet or sweaty or just doesn't have a good grip of the football, but especially in a position like this, you started at your own 20, you really moved the ball 20 yards in just over 2 minutes. That's not going to get it done. Now you've got to start going deep. You've got to start looking for some deep passes. Again, Noble Johnson had a good catch there on the sideline. He's a little hobbled. There's another player, I believe, on Parke Heritage who had an injury or who was limping around the field. I believe it was Anthony Wood. He's still in the field trying to gut it out, but your Parke Heritage got to get that ball down the field now.
48.8 seconds left to go in this one here at Greencastle. This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Parke Heritage forced to call a timeout. They are at the 40-yard line, losing 7 on that dropped ball from Miller. And no timeouts, too. That's another thing for Parke Heritage. They cannot stop the clock for the rest of this ballgame unless they get it out of bounds and unless they get a first down, but they won't. It's a sack. And again, it's Ethan Ham. Back-to-back plays. Ethan Ham gets to the backfield, and it's 4th and forever upcoming for Parke Heritage. Under 30 seconds.
Last play again. Don't count him out, though. We had on the 4th and 45.
They've converted in this spot before. Miller scrambling to his left, having to heave one up. There's a flag down as Noble Johnson brings it in.
But I tell you,
Noble Johnson catches it.
But there's a flag. If it's a holding.
Connor George was trying to steal it away from Noble Johnson, but Johnson ripped it away. Possession does go to the offensive player. Referees talking about it for the moment. The clock has stopped at 9.8. Let's take another look at this.
What I told you, don't count them out on a 4th down. The second time they've completed a deep 4th down pass. If you're at Greencastle, you got to stay focused here. That penalty does go on Greencastle, so give them some more yardage. Again, once this play is snapped, you have to spike that football. You have to know that's coming. You cannot waste any time with 9 seconds to go. You have to do another heat.
So the penalty in the backfield was against Greencastle, either holding or pass interference, and a timeout called by Coach Meyer before this play. Oh, my goodness.
That's 2 deep 4th down passes and plays that Parke Heritage has completed on this Greencastle defense. Again, Greencastle doesn't play any safeties deep. They have a cornerback. He just plays a little bit farther. But, again, with the playmakers that Parke Heritage has on the outside, with Noble Johnson and Anthony Wood, I mean, you kind of have to either press them on the line, make them take a little bit longer to get off that line of scrimmage, or you have to have play back. If you're the defense now with 9 seconds, you know they're going to be heaving it. I would play all the way back to the end zone line. That's where they're going to throw the football.
How about the game Noble Johnson is having? 11 catches for 193 yards.
And I would expect for him to at least get this look right here. I won't say it's a Hail Mary. You've got a couple of plays where you can throw short, throw it out of bounds, get out of bounds, get a couple of yards before you go to take a shot at the end zone. You have time to do that. But the way that this offensive line for Parke Heritage is held up against Greencastle's defensive line, he's not going to have enough time to throw the ball deep. So let's see if there's an out route here, maybe a quick pass, or if it's going to be a Hail Mary throw towards the end zone.
Noble Johnson is in motion. He's looking to pass. Down the field towards the end zone, and George can't haul it in. Connor George had a gimme of an interception.
I thought that was a penalty. Jared, I thought he might have got held or at least pass interfered there deep at the 2-yard line. If the quarterback's not going to play the football and they're playing the position player and they make contact, I would think that is a penalty call, but they're not going to get it with 2.4 seconds left.
So Parke Heritage had 3 receivers to the top of the screen, and Johnson came in motion. He had his options. Looking to pass, and it does fall incomplete. And for Greencastle, you would love to seal it right there. Although that play did burn a lot of time.
Yeah.
So now it's just one last play here for Parke Heritage, pending any sort of penalties that could result in an untimed down. But maybe we don't need to say anything more. We'll just no more jinxes, right?
It burned about 7 seconds, but I like that play because Noble Johnson seems to have a little bit of a stronger arm than Miller there to get that ball down the field. If the receiver could just get off the line of scrimmage a little better and get some separation, he's also throwing to a hobbled player. That was Wood, I believe, who was the intended target. So we'll see if they go back to that same play again. Maybe if you do that, you get Miller going out for a pass here, but they're going to have Johnson there in the slot.
Parke Heritage has not scored in this fourth quarter. They're trying to score here to win the ball game. Rolling out to his right, Miller puts it up. Jump ball tipped, and it's going to fall incomplete. Greencastle holds on, and they knock off the 6th-ranked team in Class 1A, 47-42, and the Tiger Cubs storm the field. What a ball game here tonight, and the Tiger Cubs do prevail. So many lead changes, so many crazy plays. Parke Heritage staying alive. Greencastle was able to answer a few times, each team having their back against the wall. But ultimately the Tiger Cubs prevail, and they move on to 3-2 on the season while dropping Parke Heritage to the exact same record.
What a great game. Again, you talked about the resilience of the quarterback for Greencastle. Kiefer Wilson threw 2 pick sixes and 3 passing plays. He didn't put his head down, put his head back up, got back to work, led his team on 2 scoring drives after that, managed some time, and he did a great job defensively, putting the pressure on any quarterback that was in the game for Parke Heritage. I'm sure Greencastle, this game would have been a little bit more sweeter if they could have beat Christian Johnson, who got hurt for Parke Heritage, but a win's a win, and you can see the excitement on these Greencastle players. They're super excited, especially to beat a ranked team in 1A. Whenever you can beat a ranked team, you know it's going to be a good day. And a great job here and a great play calling by Coach Mike Meyer and these Tiger Cubs.
Mike Meyer has a lot to be proud of as the Tiger Cubs pumped up after this win on their home field. They meet for the final time before heading off. A few players to get some mention. 20 carries for Kiefer Wilson, good for 185 yards rushing. Jacob McGuire finished the ball game with 11 carries and 113 yards on the ground. Connor George had the 2 pass completions from Kiefer Wilson. He had 73 yards receiving. Wilson, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Connor George got things going with a 13-yard rushing touchdown and then had a 50-yard punt return touchdown. Tiger Cubs were looking good in that first half, and they led it 27-22. But still, Parke Heritage was going to play them tough until the end. Christian Johnson left the game. He was injured. He finished 15-22, 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. Andrews Miller having to step in, and he did all he could. But unfortunately, the Parke Heritage Wolves will fall tonight, and they will move on their next game at South Vermilion next week. As for Greencastle, they will take on a conference opponent in Brown County next Friday. There's Kiefer Wilson.
Heck of a game from him.
Tremendous game as usual. He has been terrific so far through 5 weeks of play. So for the final time, Greencastle wins it 47-42 over Parke Heritage. For our cameraman, Matthew Stein, our producer, Jerry Collins, and for the man next to me, CJ Benberry, I'm Jarrett Lewis saying so long for now. More games next week right here on the Family Network's IndianaSRN, where you're always in the game.